What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at 6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. That's right, y'all. Sixth element of hip hop, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. Y'all, what's good? Yeah. Welcome back, Stew Dog Raw Talk.
Peace.
Peace.
Yes, happy holidays, all those good things.
Happy New Year's, happy holidays. We had a little bit of a health scare, health hiatus, little health break. Had to get my cellular structure in order. But yeah, you know, we get it in. We get things taken care of. I have the setup here. If you're like, oh, where's Reno? This is actually my bedroom with the samurai swords and shit all around. By the way, that blanket on the window, it's intentional. Okay, it's a motif. We're going for old samurai shit here. It's not like, all right, but anyway. I moved everything in here. I work from home, you know what I'm saying? I got the whole setup. I got my whole, so when I was down, I was able to work basically from bed just like this. But now I just didn't take the time to move everything but 3 computer systems, the whole thing back in the other room. So long story short, that's why the background is what it is. But everything else is lovely. And I want to say salute to Slade Wilson. Peace in the chat. What's good, big homie? And you know, apologize everybody for my absence, my issues, but hey, you know, health comes first.
Facts.
And I realized I scared people, man. I'm sorry, you know, I apologize if anybody was you know, got scared or anything like that. I do apologize. It was not my intention. But yeah, I'm okay. Gonna be okay. And that's what matters.
Indeed.
All right, so getting right to it. We're going to talk about some things today. We're going to talk about this new Echo show because I really mixed feelings about it. I really do. And then we have the Crisis on Infinite Earths, dope-ass DC animated joint that I thought was phenomenal. Part 1 only. So can't wait to see the second, John. Did you guys get a chance to check those out?
Yep.
Crisis, especially Crisis was exponentially dope.
Phenomenal.
Dope. Follow the comic very closely. A lot of people just wouldn't get the fact that Flash is the centerpiece of the story,
right?
As he was in the comic book, but it was still good. But I like the way they did it, man. Like the art style was good, man. It was just good. I can't say anything.
Yeah. No, it was sick. It was truly sick. It was truly dope. You know, DC always knocks out of the park with the animated joints. They just really have that on lock. For example, Marvel is the exact opposite. They're good. Well, we used to say this about Marvel. We used to say Marvel had the live action locked and DC had the animated locked. But now Marvel not so much. They really don't have the live action locked anymore either. So I'm not sure what's going on, Marvel. We'll see, you know, how that ends up in the long run. But I think DC is about to take and start running with the globe. That's just my prediction. I think when James Gunn gets the reins, which he already does, but when James Gunn starts dropping the movies, because already, you know, you got a Superman movie full of characters, just like the comics. You know, Superman movies previously only had Superman in them, or his main villain of the day, or whatever. But that was about it. You didn't see Flash come in and Green Lantern pop up and Hawk Girl and all. Never happened. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that's how comic books work. I mean, when you see a Superman comic, it ain't nothing for Green Lantern to pop in or Flash to run through and be part of the story.
That's true.
All
Exactly.
right.
That's true.
I mean, but
Yeah, that's exactly true.
it seemed like in the movies though we never get that. We just get Superman. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But James Gunn, he's got Superman, Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific. It's a bunch of other characters, just in the one movie, in the Superman movie. So, I mean, that's promising, man. I think that's dope. I think James Gunn has a good record of doing dope team movies. You know, he killed it with the Peacemaker joint, with the Suicide Squad, with Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously. So he's great at doing teams of obscure people. So I want to see how he is at doing teams of well knowns.
Right. And that's
You
and
know?
that's what I liked about this movie, this Crisis movie, is they kept showing different. Even Peacemaker was in there. They kept showing different
Was he?
girls, man. I mean, yeah, Peacemaker was in there. It's a little
I
cameo
mean,
of Peacemaker. They Brady even had Uncle Sam in there,
oh,
and I was I
when they
was
were
shocked
walking
to see
around,
that.
all the heroes were in there.
When the monitor had them all in the one spot, and it was
Hmm.
just showing different, different angles, and Peacemaker was in there. So
Dope,
Mhm.
dope,
yeah,
Yeah,
dope.
it was bugged out that Phantom Stranger, he was questioning an old boy. Old boy looked at him like, oh, this motherfucker right here. He's questioning me about why I brought everybody here and my motivations,
The
you know,
question.
which was he was kind of shaky.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It wasn't all. It didn't seem like he had uh, the best intentions. But
Yeah.
when it comes to iconic DC storylines, none I think looms larger than Crisis. It's like they're um, well, I'm trying to think of a Marvel run that compares, but it's a big one. Published between 1985 and 86, it was a multi-part story intended to be both a celebration of DC history in the time for its 50th celebration, also to clean up its years of confusing, convoluted continuity that had just sort of, written itself into dead ends and shit, and they had no way out. So they created the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Marvel followed suit, Jonathan Hickman with the Incursions, and we saw them do the movie first. But make no mistake, DC did it in the comics way before Marvel. Um, yeah, and it's not only to reset DC's continuity, but also reshaped it for the decades following. And you know, the company DC has made Crisis part of its identity, and it helped to popularize the multiverse story trope. The plot device, the multiverse plot device in storytelling in a way that has seeped into mainstream pop culture, into Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse, and everything everywhere all at once, and even of course the multiverse saga and MCU. But Crisis on Infinite Earths is now likely as important a comic book as Watchmen or Dark Knight Returns in terms of cultural impact. Um, because I mean those are Dark Knight Returns. I mean Watchmen. I can't think of any Marvel stuff that equates to those.
Um, Secret Wars would be the only
Secret
one.
Wars
Secret
would be the
War,
only thing. Yep.
Yeah, that would be the only thing.
Civil War, maybe. Yeah, Secret Wars definitely. Secret Invasion. There's a lot of. I mean, yeah, and you got the Annihilation. Wait, there's a lot. There's actually a lot. There's a lot. Shame on me. There's a lot. Uh, yeah, but where's my man Dex, man? When my homeboy Dex was gonna come in. Yo, Dex, if you watching, check the link. It's in your email. Pop in because he's well versed in Crisis, uh, and DC shit. But um, yeah, man, it was the. I mean, Stu, you read Crisis on Infinite Earths? You read the comics?
A long time ago when they first came out, but I still, I'm still pretty sharp with it.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sharp. Well, basically, the story is about there's a giant there's a giant wave of matter heading towards every planet and every multiple universe in the DC universe,
Striking.
and the Monitor has an idea of how to stop it, and the only way to stop it, he says, is to bring together everybody, heroes and villains alike, to stop this wave. Um,
Right.
but as it's traveling through the universe, Flash gets to see these planets get eaten up, bit by bit, like when he went to Earth 3 and he
Yeah.
discovered the crime syndicate, and he was like, yo,
My
like I never
favorite.
knew it was a whole planet full of, yeah, like full of people that was like us, but they evil. You know what I mean?
Right.
So um the one good thing about that was that in the anime, Ultraman has this great idea about how to stop it. So he said, I'll just fly to it and punch it, and
Right.
and, and it'll die.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then, but the rest of them, yeah, they do the same thing. Um, they
So, but
incorporated a Mazo. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
now this is in the show, in the movie, right? Or is this you talking about the
Yeah.
comic?
No, this was in the movie. This was in the
Okay.
movie. It
To
happened in the
compare.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
comic was just a little different, but it happens. Like I'm just giving y'all the movie version because that'll be the one everybody. Because like I said, the comics I read them back in like 85, 86.
I
That's when I
got you.
read them joints. Yeah, so like now this, if I try to explain it the way they did it, nobody's gonna really, because they didn't read it. But if they watch the movie, they'll get it. So the Anti Monitor is pretty much the one that that's pretty much you got the Monitor and then you got the Anti Monitor. The Anti Monitor is the one that's trying to destroy the whole universe. The Monitor, the one that wants to save the universe. That's the guy that you see in the movie that looks like Constantine but with the hood and he's doing magic.
Mhm.
That's the
Spectre.
Monitor, the one that follows the Flash around. I think
Right.
they call him Spectre.
Oh,
They kept calling him Spectre.
now
Yeah, they kept
Spectre's
calling him Spectre.
Yeah.
green. That's Spectre.
Yeah, yeah. Spectre was the one, the green. But
Spectre, you know what Spectre is, right? That's the
yeah, I
god.
knew it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the
So
comics version.
now one thing I did, we'll probably see in part two is I know when you go in the stores, Raw Talk and Reno, you
Mhm.
always see Superboy Prime.
Yeah. Superboy Prime.
Nobody buys Superboy Prime, but it's a lot of Superboy Primes out there. Superboy Prime is very pivot, is very not very important, but important to the whole thing, because that's
Yeah.
the strongest version of Superman possible.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he wears that armor, and he's very very strong. He's very very Superboy Prime is very very powerful, and he came about in Crisis. That's the first time I ever saw Superboy Prime.
Uh,
Uh,
think we're gonna
and
do.
yeah, and then that's where in remember the last movie we got with Henry Cavill, Superman,
Yeah.
Batman, not Batman versus Superman, Justice League.
Right.
Justice League.
Okay, that version of Luthor is the Luthor that they show in that movie. That's Alexander Luthor, because you
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
got Lex Luthor and then you have Alexander Luthor,
Right.
and that's the version that they show. But
Uh,
them putting a Mazo in there, I thought that was incredible because I love a Mazo,
Mhm.
and I love how they incorporated a Mazo in there, and how
Mhm.
he was trying to fulfill his program, and then when his creator died, that's when he decided to become good after he was being manipulated by Luthor the whole time, destroyed the Justice League.
right. Well, and I
Yeah.
love this movie. Raw talk. What was you gonna say?
I was saying it in the comic. They didn't they everything came into one planet at the end of the multiverse of that, because when Alexander and what's his name, Superboy Prime, they worked together. They defeated the Anamonitor, and then after the multiverse, all these different worlds, they created one big Earth, and that was it.
Okay.
At the end of the comic, I believe.
That was the idea. Yeah, the idea that Marvel or that DC was trying to do was to try and consolidate and bring all the shit that they had convoluted together and make it so that a new fan could pick it up and enjoy it, because they were getting to a point that when if you weren't already into DC Comics, they weren't getting any new fans because people
Yeah,
didn't know where to start. I mean, what the fuck am I reading? Like I pick up this Superman, is that one is different? Like who's the real one? And they couldn't figure it out, and it was just a lot of
Right.
that
Yeah.
so they did this partially to fix it and to celebrate. At
Mhm.
the same time, they used the opportunity to sort of celebrate all their characters, maybe
Yeah,
redesign them.
That's
But
true. That is true. Because remember, you got to remember, DC had a rule that if you did a comic book or a superhero team, two people couldn't have the same powers. They couldn't even be similar. Their
Right.
powers had to be everybody's powers had to be vastly different from the other person, and
Mm-hmm.
that was a way of them breaking that mold by doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. Because at the end of it, Anti Monitor kills Monitor. Spectre brings everybody together, and then Luthor tries to persuade all of the villains to take over what's left
Right.
of the multiverse,
Mm.
after Monitor dies and is killed by Anti Monitor. But Superboy Prime and Alexander Luthor wound up defeating Anti Monitor
Yeah.
and then taking everything back, and then trying to reboot the whole universe.
Mm.
So that's basically the whole story in a nutshell. As far
Yeah.
as the details, we can get into that. My Some of my favorite parts of it were, I'm not gonna lie, I liked Amazo. I thought Amazo was amazing, no
Mm.
pun intended, in the whole thing. Because at the one part where he was redirecting the Flash, when Flash started moving around saving everybody, he
Right.
was telling her, "Oh, there's a piece of wood head towards Green Arrow's head. Get that. There's a piece of
Mm.
metal head towards Batman's face. Get that." And
Right.
Flash was like, "Yo, are you evil or are you good? Like, you helping me, but you causing all this at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
what's up?"
Yeah. And yeah. And this is the original comic right here.
Yeah, I have that.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah, 1985. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
dope.
that, yeah, it was, shout out to George Perez. I mean, rest in peace. One of
Rest in
the,
peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
He,
drew the whole thing, penciled it, and Marv Wolfman wrote the joint. It was first serialized as a 12 issue limited series, like House of X, Powers of X. It was 12 issues, miniseries set up from 85 to 86, one a month. And that's how they broke it down. And as a main piece of the crossover event, some plot elements were featured in tie-in issues from other publications. And since the first, original publication of it, the series has been reprinted in various formats and editions. Uh, but the idea for this series apparently came from Marv Wolfman's idea to abandon the DC multiverse depicted in the company's comics, which he thought
Which
was
was
unfriendly to readers. It was, yeah,
right.
not
Which
user
is pre-crisis. Which is pre-crisis.
right. That's that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This,
Represents pre-crisis.
this is how he
And
gets the
that's
idea.
for all our right. That's for all our viewers out there that don't know the difference between pre-crisis and post-crisis. So
Right. Yeah, so when he's before he thinks of Crisis, this is sort of what made him think of it, and he
Mm.
wanted to create a single unified DC universe, the DCU, and the foundation of Crisis developed through a character, the Monitor, who introduced in Wolfman's New Teen Titans in July of '82 before the series itself started. So they did not create the Monitor for Crisis, which I thought was cool because it wasn't like a plot device. It made it seem more legit.
yes,
Mm.
And
legit. Yes, it did.
yeah, and at the start of Crisis, the Anti-Monitor, which is the Monitor's evil counterpart, is unleashed on the DC multiverse and begins to destroy different various Earths that it comprises. And the Monitor tries to recruit heroes from all the multiverses, but he's murdered. And Brainiac is in it. He collaborates with the villains to conquer the remaining Earths, and then
Mm.
eventually both heroes and villains are united by the Spectre. And then the series concludes with Kal-El, Superboy Prime, and Alexander Luthor Jr. defeating the Anti-Monitor and the creation of, like you said, Raw Talk, the one single Earth in
Yeah.
place of the multiverse. And
And
you
the
know,
Monitor is a race of beings. The Monitor comes from a race of beings that was before everything.
mm, mm,
So they were kind of like the Watchers
right,
Yes,
in Marvel.
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
They
they are.
just didn't jump in and mess with things. They just watched
they
the
mon-
monitor. They
they
monitored things literally.
And that's why
So
they call it the monitor.
yeah,
Hence the word monitors. Yeah,
yeah, they monitored literally. So
right,
once they seen something happening, like to everything, there's a positive and negative. So that Animonitor, once that Animonitor came into being, like
right.
like even like with the Green Lantern and the yellow energy. You know what I'm saying?
The yellow.
the
The yellow.
Yeah,
yellow
yeah. So
lanterns.
there's
You're,
always a negative force to a positive. So that monitor said, "Yo, there's too many of these things here."
mm,
According to how it's worked out, we need
hmm
to consolidate and destroy, kind of like a Thanos.
Thanos.
We need to put everything in order. So that was the whole premise, putting everything in order. So once that
mm,
happened, it was just like, I I mean, look at now with DC. Everything's in chaos. Now they got to try to put it back in order. So
yep,
you're gonna have another crisis event,
hmm
which is literally,
Crisis. That was Dark
even in
Crisis
DC
on Infinite
crisis, just
Earths.
DC as a company crisis. It
right,
was reflecting what was going on with that writer's head, with trying to keep everything under one banner, have these heroes interact with each other all the time, not having action comic here, Man of Steel here, just Superman here, and then Superboy here. They wanted it all in one because he
like
felt
a
like,
user
oh
friendly.
yeah,
Hmm
but it's
Yeah,
happening again.
yeah,
People,
it's happening again, and it's time. It's time for another one. And yeah, Marvel
Right.
immediately followed
Well, they
suit.
just did another one. They just did another credit. They did Dark Crisis. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. That was like 2022 is when they
Yeah,
did that one.
yeah, end of 21,
Yeah, because
something.
you got
yeah,
Infinite Crisis. You got Infinite. You got Crisis. Then you got Infinite Crisis. Then you had Final Crisis. Then you had Dark Crisis. So
Yeah,
they do it every so often
yeah,
to I guess defrag or cleanse the universe.
yeah.
yeah, but it don't help because they come out with all multi multi of multiverses of multiverses.
Yeah. Well, they started what's known as the Crisis Trilogy, which is your Infinite Crisis, Final Crisis, and Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth. Oh
Yeah,
05, oh 08, and 22. And they also were sort of the sequel to Crisis. But they, you know, there's still sequels and trilogies. It's still part of that. They did. It's not a whole revamping like the original one was, and that's what
yeah,
they're saying. That's what they probably need to do is something like that right now to bring everything back together. But the it was noted for its high death count too, because hundreds of characters died.
Yeah, died.
hmm
Right, you
Yeah,
had the original Supergirl
every
died, Barry
yeah
Allen died,
Flash.
the
Flash
Flash.
died. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Flash was like the biggest death.
yeah.
Like that was the one that was you know looked upon the most. Like when I was reading it when I was a kid, when we found out we like yo Flash died. Like we was heartbroken,
yeah,
bro. We was
Yeah,
like Flash.
yeah.
Like,
Because he was the one that was the guy who he was the glue,
yeah,
because he could go to
yeah, so,
different,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, different dimensions or what have you. He can go to different planets, like in the Speed Force. So it's like, okay, if he we needed to know something ahead of time, it was the Flash who gave
right.
us the information. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh yeah, Flash of Two Worlds. The Flash number 123 had Barry Allen and teaming up with Jay Garrick, the
Yep.
original
There you
Golden
go.
Age Flash, and that was the first DC comic to suggest that the DCU was part of a multiverse.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Flash is the basis for all that kind of shit. And the DC multiverse concept was expanded obviously in later years with DCU having infinite Earths. For example, Golden Age versions of the DC heroes resided on Earth 2. The
Yep.
Silver Age heroes were from Earth 1. And then since Crisis
Justice
on
slide.
Earth 1,
From Earth
right,
One.
63, you had DC use the word crisis to describe important crossovers inside the DC multiverse. So over the years, a lot of various writers took liberties with creating additional parallel Earths just as plot devices and to house characters that DC had acquired from other companies, making the multiverse a convoluted mess again. And then DC, the comic book sales were also far below Marvel at the time. And according to the Comics Alliance journalist Chris Sims, he said DC multiverse felt old fashioned and Marvel felt contemporary. When you stack them against each other, there's one difference that sticks out above everything else. Marvel felt unified, and
It did. It
DC
really
didn't.
did. It did, Reno. Because when you go back in the '80s, even the '90s, and you look at Marvel comics, everybody knew about everybody. So like all the X-Men, the Avengers,
Mhm.
everybody, Wakanda, like everything was united. Like like you said earlier, you wouldn't just have a Superman movie with just Superman. In a Marvel
Right.
comic, Wolverine might start out sitting there talking to,
Ghost
I don't know,
Riders.
Captain America, or he could be on the beach chilling with uh uh, uh I don't
Spider-Man.
know, Miss Marvel or
Don't matter.
Spider Man.
Anybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh man, listen, I gotta go. Professor X is calling me. And then he's like, hey, Spidey would be like, hey, tell Professor I said what's up. And
My
remember
bad.
that time, such and such, or he owes me, you know, they didn't DC didn't do that. They just really didn't. They knew about each other, but you rarely saw them cross over into each other's events or anything
Right.
like that, or even talk about each other. Like the X-Men would talk about the Avengers and be like, hey, listen, the Avengers did this, and we had to clean that mess up, or vice versa, or we did this and the Avengers cleaned it up for us. It's it did seem more unified to me back then, and
Right.
I love DC.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, DC is great. It's not, there's nothing wrong with DC. It's just the way they had it at the time. They just had little, something they had to fix, and they did. I felt they did great. They hooked it
Yeah,
back up.
remember when Spider-Man hung out with the Fantastic Four? Yeah, the suit and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Hmm. Exactly.
She-Hulk, yeah. Remember She-Hulk hung out with the Fantastic Four for a while. It's just like you said,
Yeah.
it did seem more
I have
unified.
that comment when she became one of the Fantastic Four.
I don't know why Al keeps turning that shit off. Al, man, why you keep doing? You keep turning it off whenever we hide the camera and it disappear everything. I like this. I want you to see that I'm here. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
me, you see me talking, you see the screen. The other way is like, where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
But yo, the reason I turned the
Yeah.
camera off, y'all can talk for a second. I gotta go grab something because we're gonna have a giveaway on the show today. I'm gonna go get the prize.
Uh-oh.
All
Uh-oh.
right, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, but that Infinite Earths was crazy, man. It was just, I mean, and their update of it is it's decent. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff
Yeah,
where they brought the Flash through different pivotal points in his life with Iris, being that if it was not for Iris, the Flash wouldn't have done what he done. You know what I mean? It was like
that's
she
true.
was
Yeah,
his
she was his
centerpiece.
glue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was the glue
Iris
for
always
him.
has been like that for him. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
always been like that for Flash. Yeah, and they got to grow old together and everything.
Oh yeah.
And then she
Oh,
finally, yeah, when she finally kicked the bucket, she was like, "Look, just go do what you got to do."
dude, yeah.
You black in the comics originally?
Yeah, yeah,
Iris?
Hmm.
yeah. Iris always
No.
been black.
She was always
Yeah,
black. I didn't think she
I
was
thought she
always
was.
black.
Yeah, I thought she was
You
always
said
black.
an
Yeah,
interracial couple back then. That would be crazy.
I don't think Iris was black back then. Iris was white, and then she turned black. I think in the 80s. I gotta
Hmm.
look at my comics again. I gotta
see, that's
go
the
back
first time I've ever seen Iris was in the '80s.
Hmm.
because
She was
Flash
always black when I
been
saw
since
her.
the 60s, and
Right. Know what I'm saying? Like in the '60s. I mean, I guess the '60s would have made sense to have interracial couple because they were pushing, Black Panther movement, civil rights, all of that. So, and Marvel and DC were behind that. So, it would make sense for them to do that at that
yeah,
time.
Iris was white. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, it would have been bold, but I wouldn't have been blown away.
He said, yeah, the first time I ever seen her, she was black. I never
yeah.
saw the white
I
one.
remember because I remember Iris being white. Yeah.
Mm,
And then when the Flash
Or
TV show came out and Iris was turned black, I was like, "Whoa, when did this happen like that?" You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Because I never, even in the 80s, I don't think I ever paid attention to Iris because I had the old comics. I had my cousin's old comics, so it's
mhm.
like, okay, I know how Iris was. And then when I seen the Flash TV show, I was like, "Whoa, hold up!" You know what I mean? Even in the first TV show, Iris was white.
Okay.
If you
Wow.
remember the
No,
the
I didn't know that.
yeah,
yeah, she was white in the original TV show. Yeah, the
yeah.
That's
older
So
one with what's my man that played Flash
yeah,
name?
he played Jay Garrick.
Yeah, Jay
I mean,
Garrett. Yeah, she was
yeah,
white then. Yeah.
yeah.
I see. All right. Well, check it out, y'all. I grabbed it. We're gonna talk about. I mean, we're gonna do this giveaway today. This is Night Force Tunnel Rat. So this is a brand new figure. I mean, this just came out. Uh,
Nice.
you know what I'm saying? The lucky winner. If you collect G.I. Joe Classified, we're gonna do a show. We're gonna do a. I don't know what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something. Maybe like a, what do you call it? Like a trivia question, right? Trivia question, and then we could even,
Johnny
I don't know,
Quest.
people
What
could
up?
battle. Yo, shout out to what's good, Johnny. What's good? Slade said he need to win it. What's Sorry to bother you. I want to offer promotion of your channel viewers, followers, your chatbots. The price is lower than any other competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Flexible and convenient order management panel, chat panel, everything is in your hands. Turn it on, off, customize. Go to streamrise.com. Orthopedic fish shoe. See. Hey man, I appreciate it, man. Have fun on Twitch with that. Whatever. Uh, what we gonna do? Well, just to wrap up, we Crisis was dope. If you have not seen Crisis on Infinite Earth, part one is phenomenal. Check it out, DC animation, at its finest, and I'll tell you exactly where you can watch it. The blah blah blah. Well, obviously you can. It's on HBO Max. That's DC's joint. It's available for purchase as a download on YouTube, Google Play Movies, and Apple TV. It is available to watch on US on Prime Video. Produced by Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios, Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths 1, much like other Tomorrowverse movies, is also distributed by Warner Brothers Home Entertainment. And since the primary streaming home for home production is HBO Max, the first installment will start streaming there. For HBO subscribers, the good news is that they can watch Justice on Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 whenever it streams on the platform. For the prospective subscribers, there are many schemes that they could opt for, like the basic plan, and then $9.99 a month, the $99 a year, the ad-free plan, $150 a year, ultimate ad-free for $200 a year. What's the difference between the ad-free plan and the ultimate ad-free plan? If it's ad-free, it's
one come with a bucket of popcorn.
there you go. So I'm playing
Ultimate, they don't have any pop-up ads.
right. See,
pop-ups.
that
Commercials.
that makes me think that the ad-free one is a scam.
I mean, it's all a scam at the end of the day.
Absolutely is. And I'm gonna tell you something. They're not gonna scam me, because I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm not, listen. Y'all know where I pay. Y'all know where I watch them joints. I'm not paying for the joint.
I'm about to go on that spree very soon. About to get my little.
We know how you get down. We know how you get down. That's how I've been getting down lately with Marvel. I've been watching all my Marvel trash. I've been going underground.
Yeah, I had an incident yesterday. I was trying to watch Echo yesterday, right? So on my TV, you choose your profile and what have you.
Right.
It kept on bouncing me back to who's watching. I'm like, yo, I can't get into my own joint. I did my my parental everything.
Right.
So I called them up. I'm like, look, check this out. I got an issue. It needs to be handled. I'm trying to watch this show that everybody's talking about, but I can't even get into my TV to watch it.
And I'm a grown ass man.
Can you watch it on your computer? I was like, yeah, but I don't want to do that. I want to watch it on my television. But she didn't say it in that way. She just wanted to know if it was operational anywhere else on any other device. But I said, on TV, I need to watch it on there. You know what I mean? Because this here will be the judge. If I even go further with you guys, I might just, after this, shut y'all down after this, man. You know what I mean? I might cancel my subscription. You know what I mean? So she helped me all the way through it. I watched the show. I'm gonna cancel my subscription.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I can't go through this, man. Yo,
sometimes it ain't worth it. Sometimes it be like that.
That's
all right, y'all. Check this out. Battle of the Beats tomorrow night, 8 p.m. All right, BDBGP, man. Tell them where exactly where we can find this, where it's gonna be at. Post
Oh,
it right there. I'm gonna let you post it in the chat, and we're gonna promote it right here so y'all can check that out. Battle of the Beats.
that's that international battle of the beast where they, is
I,
that what?
yeah, I don't know. Am I a judge in this one? You said I was gonna be a judge on this one. I don't know. I think I'm gonna be a judge on one of these Battle of the Beats.
Oh, this is on the internet only. Oh, okay. Because they,
Yeah,
they got the national one, the international one. You know, people make their beats on the spot or whatever,
right.
stuff like
Well,
that.
yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? I always make my beats on the spot. You know what I'm saying?
the Akai,
Yeah,
the
toy
MP.
around, do my thing.
All right, the battle will be live from my debate table podcast on my YouTube channel. Tell them what your YouTube channel is, broski.
Facts.
Put your channel name up in there and let them know where we can chop it up at. The DC multiverse, though, is gradually destroyed by a wave of antimatter in the film Crisis on Infinite Earths. Have fun. It's fucking dope. Check it out. Like I said, you can watch it anywhere that you can stream stuff, basically. And it's fun. It's a good story. I think it's different from the movie. I meant the comics. Obviously,
Hmm.
they want to be up to date. They want to be current. They want it to be entertaining to today's audiences. So they might have changed a few things. But DC is very good about staying comic accurate in their animated joints. They're very good at that. If they change anything, it's very intentional. Uh, a la Hush, where they had to change who the bad guy was to make it still a surprise and things like that. But and I think they botched it. But hey, but it's still a phenomenal movie. Still a phenomenal movie. Um,
Definitely. And I
yeah,
like the animation in it too. It's a little bit different from the normal DC animation, as far as
right.
the art wise and stuff like that. You see the dark jaw lines and stuff like that. It was a little bit different. It was pretty dope. I really appreciated that the animation of it.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Me too. Okay, I'll be judging this episode. That's what's good. Yeah, we'll talk on Twitter. I meant Instagram. We'll get that. The link to join the panel for the battle is in that group chat. I added you in. No, bro, not for me. Give it for everybody else here. Put it in the chat so everybody here can see it. Oh, not the one, not that link. I'm talking about put in the chat where people can go to watch the Battle of the Bands. Put your name of your channel and all that stuff so people can find it. Um, and so, all right, yeah, Johnny, you just pushing us into it, huh? Time to talk about Echo, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I guess we just won't talk about
Yeah.
Echo
Yeah. Echo was kind of slow, man, in a sense where I mean, I can deal with Echo, the character. She was dope. She's a dope character to me.
Yeah,
I really like her. I just didn't like how the story was going with her and the Kingpin. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah.
like Kingpin in the beginning. Yeah, I love the Kingpin. He's
It was,
gangster. That's
bro.
my guy. You know
Me
what I
He
too.
mean?
looked,
Me too.
You
he
know what I
looked,
mean? Like
he looked so
I
much
really
better in this one than the Netflix one. I mean, he looks on point. He looks straight out the comics, bro. Broad shoulders, fucking
yeah.
big square motherfucker.
Yo, when in the beginning when she was trying to get candy or no, was it candy or popcorn? I forgot. It was one of them. The guy at the cart. You know what I'm saying? Because they was going back on how he molded her into the weapon she really is, despite her historical. Because I mean, even though the historical, I had a little thing with that because she's coming from Choctaw, Indian. You know what I'm saying? So we all know who Choctaws are. So it's a little bit, all right, they're doing this just for whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that he was little by little training her, but didn't know she had that side of her, the
Mhm.
brutal side. Because when he was beating homie down,
And she was like, "Let me get one. Let me get a lick."
and no, yeah, after he was like, yo, he called the dude, he's like, yo, let me get a new jacket. I don't want her to see this. And
Yeah,
she standing right there,
yeah,
and then she ran up on him and started stomping, dude. I was like, and he was like, oh,
yeah.
I got
Oh,
an apprentice.
yeah,
ah,
yeah. Exactly.
that him training her and going through it, it was just like it was pretty dope, man.
They reminded me of Gamora and Thanos for a minute.
Yeah,
Um,
father and daughter relationships.
right, right. It's
Yeah.
the thing about it, it wasn't I was watching that show Echo like the whole time rooting for it, like, yo, this is the shit. I was like, oh my god, finally fucking some comic accurate shit. Daredevil looks amazing. This is first episode, mind you. Daredevil looks amazing. Kingpin looks amazing. Echo looks great. The choreography is fucking the best I've seen in anything Disney's done in a while as far as fight scenes. A lot of it was just like hitting, and I'm like, man, this is the next best thing since pockets on pants, to take a line from Stu. uh but when it got to the end in that last scene, and I will agree, it was slow going. They did stretch it. I feel like they crammed 5 seasons worth of show into episode one.
Mm.
Episode one could have been a fucking season. All
There was
right.
a reason. There was a reason for that, Reno. There was a good
Oh,
reason for that.
well, the
Yeah,
reason is
they
simple. The reason is
No,
simple.
go
It's
ahead.
because
Go ahead.
they only have 5 episodes. It's a 5 episode miniseries, so they had to cram the whole story in those 5 episodes.
Well, well, originally, Reno, they were budgeted for 6 episodes, and throughout the filming, the I had watched I don't know, it popped up on my Google feed where I was reading how mid production the they got hit with a budget constraint, so they lost an episode. So they only
Mm,
had enough to do 5 instead of 6. So they lost money. So they said that it it kind of put a constraint on what they were trying to do. That's why I mean, you were telling me, you said the first 3 episodes are really good and they were
mm,
well paced, and you
mm,
can tell because the last 2 episodes looks like a lot of reshoots.
Mm.
Their characters having conversations inside of rooms instead of
Yeah,
acting stuff out. Like you can see a whole lot of differences in those last 2 episodes because they had to piece it together to make it work.
yeah.
exactly. Yep, that's true. That's absolutely
Mhm.
right. And it's sad because, like I said, the first 3 episodes were great. It was going really well. Um, and I mean, we had never seen a Marvel show, or really any Marvel property outside I think Deadpool, that had that kind of blood and violence. That was straight out of like Peacemaker. That was some DC. That was some Peacemaker type violence, man. The Boys.
Yeah,
Well, I think it
it
was
was.
a clear. It was also an experiment to see
Spotlight.
if people. But see, it was an experiment that they controlled that went crazy. It was an experiment to see if we would accept the Netflix style on that channel, because that blood and gore was directly like that was on Netflix. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, with the Daredevil, the
Right.
Defenders and stuff like that, and the Punisher.
But
So
DC, I mean not DC.
I mean,
Disney did say that they wanted those like Daredevil. They wanted what Netflix did. They said that
yeah,
it was violent and it was action based. And
You
then
got
stuff
enough.
that they got from the last Daredevil that was already being filmed, they said it was crap. And now,
mm,
if Disney said it was crap, and we know crap from creation, then it
mm,
had to be crap. It had to be super crap.
mm,
Yeah, and them going rated R on Disney. That was like, okay, they might be trying to win me over here. They might be winning me over a little bit, and they have this Spotlight imprint, so it's kind of like DC Elseworlds, Marvel Spotlight. It's its own thing. Still a Kevin Feige production, though. By the way, I thought that was weird, but
Well, Spotlight. From the articles I read, Rena, they said Spotlight means that it's going to be either rated R or very mature. That's how they
exactly,
differentiate between the two. So if it's a Marvel Spotlight, it's going to be gritty. It's going to be dark. It's
yeah.
going to be what we got with the Netflix. It's going to be with the
But
they're
with
going to put
this
the ghost
Echo,
face on it.
I wanted more out of it than anything, as far as not blood and gore, more in depth. Like, I mean, the interaction with Echo and what's her name, Maya,
yeah,
and the
Yeah,
Kingpin. I thought it should have been more extremes to it, because I know at the end we spoke on it earlier that he started crying at the end, but that's his
oh
heart was
yeah,
broken. His heart was broken because that was like his daughter. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, that was his daughter. So she broke his heart, literally broke his heart. You know what I mean? Because he thought he had another him right there. You know what I'm saying? Like
He's
if
a
you were to go
Yeah.
the next day, she can take over his kingdom. You know what I mean? And
Plus two, bro. Talk. The Kingpin that we see in Disney Plus, the guy that plays him, um, he said that when he read the
Vincent,
comics, that Kingpin was always this larger than life,
yeah,
loud, confident, this, that, the other dude, and he said he just wanted to break him down to two things, and I forgot what it was, but he said that in his eyes, the character Kingpin he plays, he wants to be loved, and he's
yeah.
always losing, and he's always losing love. Like every time he finds love or happiness, he always loses it. And it starts out good for him, and then it ends up bad for him. And so at the end, that's that they were saying that's why he was crying because he lost another love in his life, or somebody
yeah,
that he loved and cared about, and it was taken away from him. So do I like this version of Kingpin? Sort of. But at the same time, I do like the confident, statured, stand up, Biggie Smalls
So
type of guy
yeah.
that Kingpin is portrayed as in the comics, man.
yeah,
Well, they gave us this Kingpin, which looked phenomenal, looked really good. Really looked like the character from the comics. Vincent D'Onofrio is a phenomenal actor, so
yeah,
he's,
hell yeah,
he's killing it. But he's doing what they're telling him to do, so I'm not blaming him. And I felt like Smokey on Friday, man. As soon as he was walking, I was like, he gonna cry in the car. I said he gonna cry in the car, and then he really got in the car and cried in the car and drove
yeah.
away sad.
The Native American part, what Johnny Quest
Yeah,
is
yeah,
saying,
he
yeah,
did. Yeah.
that threw a lot of people off, I believe. But it threw me off in a way where I know Choctaw Indians to be black folks.
Well, no, I mean Choctaw is like it's a tribe. It's
It's
the
a tribe,
Cherokee
but the
Choctaw.
original tribe was black
This is
folks.
try.
I mean that's yeah. I mean we.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, if you're gonna tell it from a good standpoint. You know what I mean? Like you throw people off in that sense, like
But
because
I don't think a lot of people know that Choctaw people were black. That's a
I
very
mean, yeah, I mean, I'm coming from me, it threw me
yeah
off. Like, what? Whoa,
right.
hold up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And plus,
saying?
Echo, she's not all Indian. She's half Spanish, half Indian. She's half
Yeah,
Yeah.
half.
yeah, that's what I'm
Comes.
saying.
Yeah,
Like,
she's yeah.
I mean, the
And
way they wrote it in for inclusion purposes, all right, if you're gonna throw inclusion in, make sure it's right and exact when you just want to throw in just for inclusion. You know what I mean? Don't do it right and exact. That's
no,
I,
and
my point of view.
you're right. And I think like well the thing with Echo, it's a person of color character. She's handicapped. Not only an amputee, she's deaf. She's a female character, so she checks all the woke MCU boxes.
Mm.
But those things alone does not make it woke.
Will not make it work.
If
Yeah.
those are done well, if it's written well,
Yeah,
that's a great character. Fuck yeah, I'm down. I
yeah,
love female leads. That's all badass. If it's written well and done right. But Marvel and DC, I mean Marvel and Disney, Star Wars, they do not know how to write female characters. They write them just for the sake of being female, just to check boxes and be woke. And as like you said, Raw Talk, I mean, it doesn't come across as good writing. It's just like you're just putting it there for the
yeah,
let's just make her native because that's really woke or whatever. It's really inclusive, you
yeah.
know,
And then at the same time,
respectful
like
to indigenous people.
yeah, and at the same time, the I think they wasted money on the Marvels, rushing that out and keeping that, and not putting more money into this. If
Yeah,
had they put more money, this would have laid a foundation for their series to move forward with all their other stuff that they planned. But they wasted money with the Marvels, and that messed that whole thing up. That
yeah.
Marvel snowballed everything into some messed up. Like now,
Marvel,
everybody's
Yeah.
budgets and stuff. It's looking crazy.
Marvels was ass. Oh, there's a new True Detective series coming out, by the way. It's called Night Country on HBO. If you
Mhm.
guys True Detective, that's one of my
Yeah, I
favorite.
like True Detective. That's
Yeah,
one of my favorite.
The first
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey and
yeah. And
what was
uh,
was
White
it
Boy
Woody?
Can't Jump.
It wasn't Woody.
Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. Yeah, that was dope. Yeah, they were all dope. Hold on.
Now, what do you guys think about Echo's powers? I didn't like the way they tried to give her like mutant type powers with the glowing hands, and I didn't like that.
I was
Well,
very
her
Echo,
sister,
yeah,
yeah, her
Echo is
sister
pretty
having the
much,
powers, and
yeah,
then her.
Echo is pretty much, yeah, and then her like in the comics, Echo can pretty much do what Taskmaster does. She can look at
yeah,
something
like
and she can
Taskmaster.
do, she can, right, she can do, but she's also deaf. But in the comics, she's an accomplished pianist.
Mm-hmm.
So in the comics, she can play
Because
the
she can.
piano like she can hear, but she
Mhm.
did it by mimicking.
But remember, the only way she can do that is vibration. She's like how
Right.
Daredevil can feel the
Daredevil is. She's kind of like Daredevil.
yeah, she can feel
But
Vibration, yeah.
vibrations. That's how the
but
tone. Yeah.
like Taskmaster, when she sees the piano being played, she can imitate it exactly because she sees
Yeah.
where the fingers are going. She can immediately repeat
Right.
it because Taskmaster can repeat any physical thing. Like he watched Captain America fight, he knows his style. He can repeat everything he did. That's what
And that's what
Taskmaster.
she does in,
He
and that's
does
what
that.
Echo does in the comics. Yeah,
I
she
was
does that too.
yeah, I was really expecting that shit to be coming through in the show, and when it didn't, I was like, okay, what are they doing here? Because that is not Echo, but the thing with her ancestors, it was really weird. It was like, okay, so like all the women, and it's like the first woman that started the thing, and then the guy makes the comment, "Women give life, men only take it." I was like, well, that's interesting because I thought men were the ones that gave the
Breathe
woman
life.
an egg, made it come alive. So it's
Exactly.
hey, but yeah,
I don't have any comment on that one. So,
We have the
part
seed of life. We have the seed of life. They
seed of
have they have the fertilized earth so the seed can grow. You
right.
see what I'm saying?
We put the seed in the earth. Hey, that's But listen,
I'm
Marvel.
gonna
Mathematics,
let the
straight mathematics, but they take it to another place where it's not even equating. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean, they want to push this agenda and down with the men and make the men look pointless and useless, and because they're angry because they feel like in Hollywood women have always just been put there as like set pieces and treated like objects, and it's like, nah, yeah, in some situations, and they do that with men in some situations, but to act like that's all it ever is fucking absurd. And when you're talking about Marvel and Star Wars, those are some of the biggest proponents of strong female characters out there, so it's
Hell yeah.
yeah,
ridiculous to take those
yeah.
Jean,
things
No,
and
you're
try
right.
Jean
to
Grey being omega level mutant,
come
fucking
on, like
Yeah.
Storm. You got
exactly.
Storm being an Omega level mutant.
Characters are
Yeah.
yeah, and
bullshit.
they,
Total.
and not even only them, Miss Marvel, all of these characters, all the most strongest ones are the females.
Exactly.
It's
And we
crazy.
have no problem with that. We love it. We love those characters.
Nah, we love
Scarlet
it.
Witch,
Yeah.
all of 'em.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what the fuck, yo?
Why can't you just do that? Why don't you give us that shit? We like it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't. Victoria Alonso said it. There's a video, you can pull it up right now. She said it. Her interest is making men feel uncomfortable. That's her goal. Not making good stories, not putting out good films. It's making men feel uncomfortable because they need to, because they've got to change their attitude. What, all men? You're pissing off every fan of Star Wars and Marvel because all men need to be pissed off. Like you're getting revenge on some guy that probably did you wrong in your life, but you're taking it out on every single fan of Marvel and Star Wars, and it's just it's ridiculous. But
Yeah.
I will say
Oh,
Slade is worth a watch. Echo is worth a watch. And yes, yes. But hey, it is good. Yes, you should watch it. The thing is just know that I don't know. See, I wanted to say that this, what I predicted? You guys remember this? I predicted, I said, what's going to happen with Echo is it's going to be a great show. It's going to be really good and legit. But the fact that Marvel has put a bad taste in our mouth about female, disabled, people of color, any type of quote unquote minority uh, in the show or in the movie, they've put a bad taste in our mouth. So automatically people are going to assume, oh, here's more of the same. Native American, female, disabled, like I said, checking all those woke boxes. and people are going to miss it for what it really is, the good quality show that it actually is. They're going to dismiss it because of all that. And
Right. Right.
that's what I predicted. And I'm watching the show, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, yep, you were right, you were right, you're right. And we get to the last episode, and maybe it was just the mood I was in, but I swear to God, the ending, I was like, this is the worst shit I've ever seen. I can't believe they're ending it this way. This is what this is the whole thing. What she did. Spoiler alert! Everybody, plug your ears. Spoiler alert! Plug your ears if you haven't seen the end. You want to wait. All right. So she literally makes Kingpin have a memory of his childhood where his parents were arguing in the other room, and it made him so fucking distraught that crushed him, his willpower. This is Kingpin we're talking about. That little memory crushed him to the point of tears. He ran away like a little girl, and jumped in the car and drove off crying. That's how she saw. That's
I, I, I mean, yeah, that was part of it, but I really truly believe that the intent there was to make it feel like, okay, I broke his heart,
yeah.
literally, you know,
But
because through the whole thing, after she remember in what you call it, Hawkeye, when she shot him, right,
right,
and then he comes back, like, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't think they were supposed to be together as father and daughter, and being
Bush
that
was
she know
building.
that he being that she now knows that he really killed her father,
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying. So she popped him,
Bushwick building.
yeah. So she popped him, but he comes back with the stuff on his eye, like I forget all is forgiven, you know, and stuff like that. He still wanted her as his, you know, daughter. So all through that whole emotion, she was breaking his heart.
They cry like Red and Friday.
He did.
It was crazy. It
I
was
say
He did though, man. But you know what? Right now, Hollywood. I read an article about a week or two ago, and it said, "Why is Hollywood so weird?" And it's
mm,
true, bro. Like I don't know. Look, Hollywood. Listen, you're not that smart, so let's make you smart. Whatever happened in the past is in the past. If you want to right your wrongs, treat everybody the same, pay everybody the same, do everything the same. Don't overdo it and then make it seem like you're doing so much good that
mm,
the world doesn't notice what you always did bad. That's
mm,
wrong. Just say, all right, we did it, we made a mistake, and move on with your life. Pay everybody what they're supposed to get paid. Pay the females what they're supposed to get paid. Do what you're supposed to do. And then let's move on.
yeah.
is that
What's this slave? The
they
original
want me to check this out. It
Iris
said
West was Caucasian.
a redhead, so she is also not from the future, and her father's name is Joe West, not Ira, and they've never lived together growing up. And Wally was her cousin, not her brother. So
Mm,
they changed a few things.
yeah.
Um, and of course, they're gonna do that. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. Child abuse Kingpin is trying to profit off connecting to the villain on every show. It's just bad writing, uninspired writing. Echo could have been a
All
grimy,
right.
but Marvel needs inclusion.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, and
That's
but
true.
Dope
the thing
That's
ass
true.
character to me.
They
I
do
think
need
it's a
inclusion.
real dope ass character to me.
But
You
I
know.
love the character, and I think connecting to the villain is important. I like the idea of making the villain relatable. I love that
Mhm.
because villains are not fucking mustache twirling evil bad guys. They're just people who think they're not villains. No bad
That's
guy
true.
thinks they're bad, right?
Yeah.
Everyone.
That's true.
So
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
so yeah. I mean, I feel like the villain should be relatable. I feel like they should almost be. I mean, I'm like your boy in Goodfellas who roots for the bad guy in the movie. I mean, that's just the villains are always my favorite.
Yeah.
Um,
Hell yeah.
But that's
Villains are
Marina, you
who
got a
make
point
the
because
show too.
yeah, look at
and the
Thanos. When you
two
go
dimensions,
back and you watch the first Infinity War, Thanos didn't think it was anything wrong with what he was doing. He actually could explain his argument to you by saying, look, the universe needs to be purged. There's too many of us. We're overgrown. We're overrun. There's nothing killing us like you. We live longer. So we need
right,
to hit the reset button in order to make room. Because if not, we're going to sooner or later run out of room and resources. Like his planet Titan, like you said, Titan used to be a thriving world, but nobody listened to me. And then look what happened. So he was
right.
like, look, I'm just going to do what y'all can't do. Y'all can't push the button. I can do it, and then we're gonna get on with our lives.
But see, then you got to look at the deepness of everything too. It's weird, man. We're living in weird times. Even Thanos being on that level that he's on, you reflect that to what's going on in our world. You
Right.
look at it, they're trying to start the reset button. They trying to Thanos motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So they put it in the movie. You know what I'm saying? All this
Right.
craziness going on, war, pestilence, all this stuff. But it's all in the movies. You look at it, you could break things down just by watching a movie. You just got to keep your mind open. And you know, these guys in our world, they don't think they're the villains. They clearly
Yep.
are.
And Thanos, right? And Thanos didn't think he was a villain. He was like, y'all
Exactly.
should be thanking me. Hey, he was like, y'all should be thanking me for what I'm doing. What am I
Yeah.
doing wrong? I'm
Yeah.
helping y'all out.
Mm-hmm.
And remember when he said it was random? Like he said, I imposed a random pick, not just pick the poor and the weak, just
Yeah.
random. That means nobody escapes it. So it's just a random pick for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Echo is the first or first Marvel project to land on Disney Plus with a TV MA rating due to graphic violence. And more of that, please, because comics are violent. Let's be honest. Comics are not for
Yes, they are.
children. Violent as
You know.
fuck. They cuss. There's sex. There's blood, guts, lots of it. You know what I'm saying? And this is the way to go, dude. Like this whole thing that comic movies have to be PG. Where are you getting that? Where are you getting that? Comic fans are generally adults.
Well,
Kids don't read comic books.
yeah,
It's not
well, they got where they got it from. Let's go
back
back
in the
to
day. They think it's the fucking 50s or whatever.
yeah. Well, we'll go back to Superman. You know what I mean? That's the guy who's the standout citizen PG-13, not even PG-13, just
PG.
you know what I mean.
Boy
He
Scout.
was just Boy Scout. Period. No cursing, none of that. Batman was the opposite. When
Right.
Batman came out, that's when everything changed.
Yeah.
Things got grittier when Batman came out. Far as the '89 Batman, it got
Yeah.
crazier. You know what I mean?
And it still was. I think it was still PG-13, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because, but that I get doing that, especially back then. It was still. I mean, I was still 10 years old at the time. So I mean, but now, I'm 45. Like we're grown the fuck up, and my son, who's 19, is barely getting into comics. His age, they're into anime. Like
yeah.
they into manga. That's what they're into. And,
But even manga and anime, it's brutal in there. It's
oh,
really brutal.
No, it's
maybe
raw in there.
Slicing people's
It's off the
bodies
chain.
and
maybe more than comics.
yeah,
And
It's off the chain in manga. Yeah,
manga is
yeah. They don't
crazy.
hold back. But you know what?
Huh?
One Piece is the only. But even when they try to do manga and making it live, they did One Piece right, and
Oh
yeah,
that's why it was so popular. The rest of them that they try to do in the little movies and this, they never doing right, bro. Like Baki, when they brought it into an anime. It
fuck.
was animated well, but the story was told wrong and out of order. So
yeah.
it's
I
just a
want to.
lot, man.
I wanted something like Ricky O.
I want to see it though. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm happy when they take mangas and make them animes. I don't really care to see animes in live action. They don't work well. First of all, anime
No,
characters don't look like real humans, and that's on purpose.
Yeah,
you're
They
right.
it's not meant to, and it's hard to take. Like it just looks weird when you see anime characters as humans. It doesn't look right. Look at Dragon Ball Z. I mean, that movie was ass, and you had like imagine My Hero Academia, a dope ass anime like that in live action would be shit because you couldn't do all that stuff in live action without either an way overuse of CGI, which you might as well make it animated at that point. You just can't. Some of it doesn't need to be live action.
yeah,
One Piece, they did. I think they did crack the code on that. And if they use that same recipe to do more live action animes, I'll be down. But before One
Well,
Piece, live action were trash.
you got to remember, Reno. One Piece is about a bunch of Japanese people and things that go on in their lives. So
Not really.
everybody in One Piece is
From all
mostly,
over.
but
yeah. It was
Right.
but mostly. There are, but mostly they tried to fit the characters to their nationalities as close as possible, or right on. Like you got a five, like the one dude, the short dude that's like 5 foot tall,
Mhm.
in the anime and in the comics, in the live action, the dude is 5 foot one.
Who,
And
Luffy, the main
so yeah, so they kind of hit the nail on the head with a lot of things. But then there's like when you did like you said Dragon Ball, it still hit the mark. Like Goku
guy? Oh, they look
is
ridiculous.
more right, yeah. And you got to get the hair right. You got to get like it's just not gonna. It just like you said, you might as well do an anime. Square Enix did a couple animes from their video games, but they did them in CG and they did them well and they
Mhm.
turned out right. Like Final Fantasy Advent Children was done right. That was great. They
Mhm.
got that right. Square did it. They were involved in it the whole way. The anime was superb, and they do anime for their games anyway. So what difference do we didn't need a live action Final Fantasy movie. We just needed a CG Final Fantasy movie that wasn't attached to a video game, and that made
Mhm.
it great.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but Johnny Quest Gaming, he's right on it. As far as the comic book
Well,
version, as opposed to the actual.
I mean,
Uh,
the way Daredevil looked, his suit and all of that was doper than the Netflix version. I thought they did a little better. They upgraded it. Kingpin as well. They looked a little bit better, but that was about it. Like the storyline is not. I mean, I miss Daredevil. I don't. It
yeah,
wasn't.
because she was trying to hunt him down. Because
I don't know. I can't. Spade. I disagree, man. I don't think the villain should just be completely unlikable. They should be feared, they should be respected, they should be known that this motherfucker can fuck you up, but they should be relatable in that, not relatable in that like oh, I can see why they killed that guy, I would have killed him too. Not
Mhm.
that, but like making them more than just two-dimensional. Not just, the mustache twirling, villain that has no, they're just evil for the sake of being evil. Like that's fucking boring. It makes it more exciting and more interesting if they have a little bit of nuance or a little bit of like, they're on the fence or they're a little bit. I mean, it just makes it more interesting. But I do agree that they should be bad. I mean, yeah, they should be a bad guy. They don't. I don't want them to be mistaken for nice or a
Yeah.
good guy. Let's make them a villain, but give them some humanity or some, something that you can be like, see, maybe they had a bad childhood or they had a bad experience or something relatable that gives you like, what is this person, what is their motivation,
Motivate.
right,
Yeah,
what's
what's their
their,
motivation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's bad. His actions is bad, but his intentions is good. But he does not know that his intent is not equal in his action. His action
yeah,
has, you know what I mean? He's like confused in that way.
Right.
Like, okay, I
Oh,
blew
like
up this,
basically, yeah, I
I
get what
blew
you're
up this
saying. Like he
building,
can,
but
see now,
but I could justify why I blew up this building. You might
right,
not like my justification, but this is why I did it.
right. Now in the comics, Thanos was, he is an evil bastard, he is like straight up evil, but there's a whole series about his whole childhood, growing up from a baby, how he became the way he was. He wasn't always evil. He was actually a good kid that got made evil. Like, bro, go read. It's I think it's called Thanos. Damn, what's it called? Thanos.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's called Thanos
Yeah,
something.
it's Thanos
You're right.
Rising.
Thanos
Thanos Rising. Go read Thanos Rising, bro. That gives you a whole. That made me love.
Yes, Thanos Rising.
That made me love the fucking character.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, love that. Yeah, he was diabolical. They wanted to be relatable. I mean, yeah, villain Magneto is relatable. He started off as a villain, straight up. He was the evil Brotherhood of the Evil Mutants. He was X-Men's villain in like I think issue 3.
But he turned out to be the one who was right all along. He was
Exactly, exactly. He became,
Charles Xavier was the one that was the misguided one.
yeah. If you read the current, Krakoa stuff,
Mhm.
Magneto's a good guy. He's straight. He's a good. I mean, as far as the mutants are concerned. and he always was down for the mutants in a way, in a positive way. How do you mess up Daredevil anti-hero that trains in Japan that he can fight in any style? I'm sorry. Uh, I mean, I don't know. Did they mess up Daredevil yet in Echo? I didn't see much of Daredevil. I don't think they messed him up. We just didn't get a whole lot of him.
Well, the maliciousness of Daredevil when he fights, he's a man without fear, right?
Yeah,
That's his tagline, man without fear. After she started busting the guns, he disappeared. Like, yo, what happened? Because you're supposed to fight until you know, achieve your goal if you're Daredevil, right?
right. Exactly.
But he
Yeah,
disappeared and wasn't showing up after that. Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
They Daredevil. I mean, we remember Ben Affleck, so it can be worse. It could be worse. Yeah. If you have not seen DB Evolution, please don't poison your eyes. There's no reason to watch it. Dragon Ball live action, no reason to watch it. It's utter trash. I don't even know what the fuck they were thinking. It's not even the same story, really. It's just really weird. On paper, though, misguided killer who makes Winter Soldier look like Aunt May, and you fighting Daredevil backed by Kingpin. Oh man. If they're relatable, then what would make them more anti-hero? There's not really a need to root for a hero. Now, I'm not saying make the villain an anti-hero. No, 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 no. An anti-hero is an anti-hero. A villain's a villain. I'm not saying make them an anti-hero, but make them more than just a two-dimensional. Like I love to use the mustache twirling example, because you just yeah, he's just the evil guy, and there's nothing, no substance. He's just doing evil to be evil. It's boring.
yeah.
But yeah, but no, not an anti-hero.
make
No,
him make him like the Joker. Make him like Joker from Batman. From Batman.
yeah.
What
89.
was it? Dark Knight. From the Dark Knight, right?
Oh, the Dark Knight
Yeah.
one.
Make him Heath Ledger Joker style. Yeah, the Dark Knight. Because
Yeah, see
when
what
we
we
did
did.
that Joker, when he did that Joker, that's what made that Joker so great. He had depth. It wasn't
Well,
it wasn't just running around acting silly. You know,
he
he made
he
Joker
had that, but he
respectable.
ain't had no background. He didn't
Yeah,
have no like something to relate to. He just
yeah.
came out the
He was
blue
just
on
crazy.
some. I'm gonna, his motivations was they're all schemers. They're all
Chaos.
schemers. They lie, and that was his motivation. He was trying to point out people who are schemers. The
Right.
powers that be, the higher ups, they're no good. That was
Right.
his thing. But
Right.
we didn't know how he became the Joker. No one knows how the Joker became the Joker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's
And
many.
that's
There's
what's
like
so great about the Joker. That's the great part about the Joker. Like, look at it like this, man. When we watch Echo, right?
Yeah.
There's certain
let me
parts of Echo I didn't need.
real quick, man. Welcome.
But if they would have left it out,
Hold on, let me welcome Spade. Spade.
Spade.
What up? What up?
What up? What up? What up?
Check.
All
All
right.
right. Welcome.
What
Welcome.
up? What up? What up? All right. When you sometimes when I watch a movie, I don't need an explanation. Like,
Right.
I don't need to know why Batman. Like, I like. All right. When you look at the Nolan Ryan films, there's too much explanation. There's too much explanation about Joker. Oh, they're schemers and all that. I don't need to know all that. All I need to know is he's evil. He's here doing some evil stuff. Batman got to stop him. I don't need to go into the background story of every character. Like Echo, they went too much into the back story for me. I didn't need to know all that, man. Let's get down to here and now because we live in here and now. I don't need to know
Mhm.
that the people that she came from look like aliens, but they aren't aliens, but they look like aliens, but they aren't. That didn't make any that didn't do it for me, and it didn't do anything to progress the story for me either. So like when you have a story with a villain in it, sometimes I don't need the villain's backstory. I don't need to know why he's evil. All I need to know is
Oh,
what
they're
he
gonna.
doing now, how he gonna get away with it, and can we stop
But you can't. But you can't do a whole show with this where the star has no substance. Like you want Punisher just to be this raging lunatic that's just killing everybody. You don't want him to have no no
him? No, no,
no
no,
no.
no, 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 no. I always say Punisher. All right, Punisher's a perfect example. Whenever we watch Punisher, they always go back to the point of his family dying, and then they make that the main focal point of everything. So Punisher's walking around in his feelings the whole time.
His
Punisher ain't
motivation
never been in his feelings. Ain't it's his motivation, but he ain't never been in his feelings. When you watch RoboCop, right?
too in
The
the
best
comic.
part, the best part of RoboCop, when you
Well,
watch RoboCop, the first RoboCop, the best part of RoboCop was when he was sitting in the chair dreaming, and he saw his wife, and then he saw everything that happened, and then he saw Clarence Boddicker shooting, and he jump up, and he just start walking, and he just start going out. You can't tell me that ain't the best. And he go out and go get rope. That part was the best part of the movie right there. There was no nothing. There was no, that, right, but they gave it, and that's what they need to do with Punisher. But they don't make Punisher violent enough. Punisher walk around in his feelings the whole time. He don't wear the skull. He don't wear the classic costume. He's like more of a detective than the Punisher. He is more talking than shooting in the movie. There should be way more guns in the movie than that. Listen, let me tell you something. If Disney wanted to do something right now to blow everybody's socks off, they'd do the storyline where Nick Fury just walk up and give Punisher access to one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits, and he become the Iron Punisher. Man, listen, that right there
Punisher
would blow. That right there. If you can make John Wick as violent as you can make it, why we can't have Punisher be that violent? Punisher is just as violent as John Wick.
Because it's Disney. Because Disney bought Marvel. I knew when Disney bought Marvel and Star Wars, I was like, man, god damn it. Fuck. Man, welcome to the show, Spade, man. Holla at us, man. What's good?
What's up, Spade? What's good with you?
Yeah. Happy 24th. I hadn't been on here in a while, like life stuff been happening for me. So how it is. But no, like to clarify my comment about the villains being relatable, Reno, like what I mean is I ain't talking about, your classic bald villain, so to speak, where it's just, they're gonna blow over bridges. Like for me, if I'm relating to a villain where it's like, oh, I feel some type of sympathy for him in childhood or adult life or whatever, like that's just, I don't know. It doesn't bring that element of evil. It's like, why do I need to have a hero? Because this cat can, if he realizes what he did wrong or realizes my life went left this way, but I can try to course correct, it would almost turn him, good. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see it versus like the comment I made with MCU Thanos and movie Thanos. I mean comic book Thanos and MCU Thanos. Comic book Thanos just wanted to court death. He wanted to impress death. Right. He wanted to get rid of everything just so Lady Death would be like, you're mine. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
MCU Thanos was kind of like a lot of people on Earth, so to speak. Like, hey, mass genocide or something like that because we're running out of resources. Or I'm actually saving the universe or saving my world by doing this or that. Whereas like a character like Venom, for instance, early Venom, Eddie Brock. He became a villain because he felt Spider-Man did him wrong. The symbiote attached because it felt Spider-Man did him wrong. But now you make Venom more of an anti-hero, like, oh, well, I'm not going to kill innocent lives anymore. I'm not going to take innocent lives anymore. So it's like that kind of personifies him. Like people are like, oh, man, I kind of like Venom. Whereas in the past, like he wanted to make Spider-Man's life a living hell. He hated Venom. He hated Venom. So that's what I was meaning by that is like not necessarily just being two-dimensional. I'm bad for the sake of being bad. It's like I get that. But I don't want my villain I don't want to see a sympathetic villain because I'm like, that takes away from that. They're like, oh man, I feel sorry for you. The hero is the bad guy. It's like, now who's the antagonist? Because the hero is being more the antagonist for trying to stop this villain from doing what he do.
I see that. I mean, yeah, I feel you on that.
Somebody does that with their
like
characters, like what they're doing with Craven and stuff like that. I see them doing that with him as well. It's like they're turning all the
that's
into anti-heroes instead of
that's because Sony's trying to capitalize on that deal they got, and they're trying to make money off all the characters they can't do shit with because you need Spider-Man.
And going back to the Thanos, I remember they switched Thanos up, I believe, because remember when we first saw Thanos after the fall of Manhattan, when he sent all those Chitauri there, remember he said to battle them is to court death?
Yeah.
Smiled at the end.
Yeah.
That showed that from the comic, like you were stating, Spade, like he wanted to court death.
Yeah.
Now it became
he's in love with it. he's in love with
Right.
Mistress Death, and she won't give him no play, and so he's trying to impress her by killing as many people as possible, raising whole planets and shit like that. But there is this comic series that came out about like 2013. It's a 5-issue miniseries. Made me a super fan of Thanos. It's called Thanos Rising, and it starts out he comes back to his home planet, which has been destroyed uh, on the Saturn moon. It's called Titan, and then so he's from Titan. That's why he's called the Mad Titan. And he comes there to visit the grave of his mother, and the story then goes back to his birth, right, where his mother Sui-san tries to kill him at first sight. As soon as she births him, she tries to kill him, and the doctors sedate the mother with they hit her with some shit at the Eternal Mentor's request. And during his school years, we see Thanos has the reputation of the smartest kid in the school, and he's a pacifist. All right, a pacifist. And he kept himself isolated because he's the only guy that's blue. Like he looks purple or whatever, and everybody else on the planet looks like regular, kind of how humans look with, but he's got blue skin, and so he looks a little weird. He's got the chin stripes and all of that, and so he just plays with his brother Eros. And soon enough, there's a group of children that approach him, and he becomes friends with them despite his appearance. And he also was like a talented artist, and he had recurring nightmares about someone trying to kill him at his birth, which was obviously was his mom, which was revealed to be his mother, who appears to be imprisoned in a mental institution. They show, and then so Thanos is like then asked to dissect a lizard in class, which he runs away from school and throws up because remember he's a pacifist. He pukes. He can't do it, and he encounters this girl who tells him about a cave that she visits. So Thanos visits the cave with his friends, and they get trapped inside when the rocks collapse on him. And after 3 days digging out the rocks, Thanos sees a group of lizards that have eaten his friends right down to the bone, and he takes off. Upon returning to school, he's once again alone due to the circumstances surrounding him being the only survivor, and they kind of shun him and shit. And his present day dialogue says the people of Titan that decided that Thanos had murdered them started him on his road to the Thanos we know, right? And the truth is, however, Thanos was convinced by that same girl who showed him the cave to drop his passive nature so that he could kill the lizards in revenge for his dead friends. And so she tries to get him, to come out of that weakness and kill the lizards out of revenge. And so he begins to move on to like bigger and better subjects, right? Believing that his killing spree is nothing more than a scientific experiment in the name of knowledge. And he moves from dissecting lizards to cave apes. And then he starts killing his fellow Eternals, starting with 2 teens from his school. He admits to the girl that he has feelings for her, and he tries to kiss her, and he says that he can make her love him. And she says that only love he knows is the love of killing. And so he decides to find out the cause of his bloodlust. Why does he want to kill, and rationalizing like a genetic reason. And so he turns to his mother, who's strapped into a table, right? She's in this mental institution strapped down, tells her that once he has found out what the reason is for his insanity, and he's got to cut, he has to cut it out of her, and that he won't have to be a monster anymore, right? Like the insanity. So he then proceeds to dissect her, his own mother, and apologizes that she didn't succeed in killing him when he was first born. Like, sorry, you didn't kill me. And like, it's crazy. So years later, the full-grown Thanos leaves Titan to join a group of space pirates as their navigator. And during his space travels, he finds, he comes across many lovers and has many children across the universe, has all these kids, and in hopes of finding a semblance of normalcy and happiness. So he keeps like trying to start a family. But of course he never finds it. And soon he's confronted by his captain, who's fed up with his overly passive nature. Because remember, he's passive again. He doesn't kill anything again, and basically, severely wounds him. And Thanos, apparently ready for death, blacks out and awakens having killed the captain and taken command of the crew. So he didn't know what, and so then he leaves for Titan to visit his mother's grave. And so now he's the captain of this ship, and he's got this crew, and he's Thanos, and he's greeted by the girl that from when he was a little kid from childhood that um, brought him to the cave, and she's a grown woman now, and she asserts that his mother isn't the only girl he came to Titan to see, and so Thanos once again pleads for her affection, right, telling her that he that she would want for nothing, and he would give her the world, and she should fuck with him, and blah 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 blah. And basically he tells she tells him that there's many things that she wants, and so he assures that he's the only one who can give them to her, and she asserts that if they are going to be together, she needs to know that he belongs only to her. And on a distant planet somewhere, Thanos returns after one of his many lovers, along with their son, and she's overjoyed to see him, and she puts their son in his hands, and she tells him to let him see what kind of man his father really is, and then he proceeds to slaughter the child, to the horror of the mother, before killing her as well. Then he turns to the woman and asks her if that's enough, and the woman that he's trying to impress, and she says, "Is that all of them?" And he says, "No." And then it's not enough, she says. And he says, "Do you want to be loved?" He said, "You want to be loved, don't you?" And he said, that's all I've ever wanted." And then she says, "Then you have to kill more people. You have a lot more people to kill." And you find out that's death. It's great. It's dope. But I mean, I can't really express or make like how relatable and like how touching it is of him being a child, and like what he goes through and all that shit. It's deep, man. It's super deep. But Stu, I know you got to go here pretty soon and fight crime, man. But it's of course, man, it's been a pleasure, of course, having you as always, man. I appreciate you, and we'll see you Monday.
Yes, indeed.
I'll be here.
All right.
All right, fellas.
Be safe, Stu.
All right.
Be safe.
And Spade, man. Spade, we hope to see you too on Monday. We haven't seen you in a while.
Monday, I'm not working Monday, so if I get a chance to, I'm gonna hop on there.
Hell yeah.
Hey, man, listen, we got to talk all this Superman stuff that's going around. We know
We
we
gotta
know you're
talk
a big
about
fan.
McFarlane.
Yeah, exactly. We know you a fan. We thought you'd have been popped on here and be like, listen, we got to break down this James Gunn thing.
Man, look, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. After all that, I'm so disinterested in the James Gunn universe. I'm just like,
Nah, not you. Come
I
on,
think it's gonna
man.
be good, man. I think it's
I
gonna be
think
good.
it's too. But like I said, we'll talk about it Monday.
Like
Listen,
the
I got to
comic.
roll. I'll see
All
you
right,
guys Monday.
all right,
Hey,
bro.
All right, peace.
he said,
All right, peace.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like the comics, Spade. Like when you read Superman comics, it don't just be Superman and Lois
right,
Lane. There's all kind of characters and shit.
right.
And in James Gunn movie, he's got Green Lantern, and Hawk Girl, fucking Mr. Terrific, like all these characters in the Superman movie. So that's promising to me. I mean, it makes me feel like he might be doing this might be some real comic book feeling type shit. Because
I'm
we
just like with the way I am now, and with the way comics are now, it's kind of, for me, it's been a little bit of disheartening because everything's starting over at number one all the time. It's like now, like say 20, if I'm 44 and I'll be 45 this year. So say I live another 30 years, all these damn number ones that are out, they ain't really gonna be worth much.
no.
You know, because I'm like, oh, it's a number one. It's 2024, but we need this 2024 number one. We need a 2025 number one. It's just like, geez, can y'all just keep the numberation in continuity, you know?
Yeah. And that's what they do. That's their thing with variants as well. Like with the G.I. Joe comics now that I'm seeing, like 301 has 17 variants, 302 has 18 variants. It's great. Like, how am I gonna collect these comics? Because for the
variant
most part,
crazy.
we're attracted to the covers for the
Yeah.
most part.
Right.
Then when we get into the story's good, then we're satisfied. There are
Right.
some covers out there that's immaculate, but you go and you open a book, you're like, what is this garbage? How did this looks crazy? This look like something from Ren and Stimpy art. Like, what's going
Or
on here? You know? So
But
yeah, I
that's what I
agree
was
with you,
saying
man. It gets
about
crazy.
like with the movies, man. It's just like, and now it's a whole nother reboot and redo, and it's just like I just really couldn't get into it. It's just like enough is enough. You know,
yeah,
I'm like, don't get me wrong. I was still more of a fan of Henry Cavill as Superman. I wanted to see more from that, and I'm like,
yeah, me
personally,
too.
I think you could have just kept some of the same characters and just wiped your slate clean and just started over from that. But you know, it is what it is. His playground. He do what he want to do with it. But that don't mean I have to support it. And I'm just like right now, I couldn't get into it now. Maybe when it comes out, I might feel a little bit more excited about it. But right now, I just have zero interest in it.
Well, if it's good, I'll let you know, man. I'll be like, Spade, nah, you gotta watch it. If I
Well,
tell you to watch it, it's gonna be good.
James,
Is this what's going
James Gunn,
on now?
hold
What the
on,
movie?
James Gunn, he does well with an ensemble cast. Just a
Yeah,
note, he
yeah,
does really well with an ensemble cast. So it might be something worth watching just to see that effect.
yeah. Having
Now, I will say, like,
characters in the movie like Suicide Squad and Guardians and Peacemaker.
Guardians. He
but I was
likes
gonna
to
say,
have a
like, I
group of
will say, like, with Guardians, I really enjoyed all three of those. Those were
Yeah.
great because you know, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of underwhelmed by the second Suicide Squad movie. I didn't like it that much.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You
The
like the first one?
So
Starro thing was a little
I
bit.
like if I had to choose between the two of them, I would choose the first one. But I didn't like it
Okay.
too terribly well either. But I liked it better than I liked the second.
Mm.
Mm.
But like far as for what he did with Guardians, yo man, I give him his props all day on that because all three of them were great movies to me.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Those are my favorite Marvel joints, the Guardians movies.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and yeah, I loved Peacemaker, and I'm not a John Cena fan at all.
Mhm.
For not for any particular reason, just not a fan. But I liked that show and the way it was done. And Suicide Squad, the second movie, I liked a lot better than the first one.
Mhm.
Brightburn, I like Brightburn, his take on evil Superman, that was pretty cool. But he's got there's nothing James Gunn's done that I've hated.
Mm.
So that says a lot. And the fact that he's given us these multi-character movies right off the bat in a Superman film, that's promising to me. It makes me feel like he cares a little bit about it being comic accurate and whatnot. And yo, salute Slim Jim Longfoot. Peace, man. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Peace.
Y'all can see Slim Jim, man. Y'all can check him out on Instagram, doing live. He be drawing and doing that shit on live, man. Dope shit, dope shit.
Word.
This keeps popping up on my ads, like this is, and I just click on it, and it's $225. Are people walking around the streets and this shit? What the
I
fuck?
mean,
Professional clown shoes by Nike.
yo,
Is
hey, they were walking around in those crazy ass red
That's why I'm not putting this.
Astro Boy boots.
I'm not putting this past.
Oh,
I done seen the Ast. First of all, first the damn Uggs, and then the Crocs, and then the Astro boots, and now this. Hey man, I'm not. I'm not.
it's like fashion is getting uglier and uglier, man.
That's
Uh,
just.
clown shoes.
Wow.
Oh boy.
And Johnny, you're right, Johnny Quest Gaming. But now James Gunn, he's not writing the entire. No, he's not going to write every movie. He's just the overarching CEO, the Kevin Feige of it all, right?
Yeah.
Feige does not write and direct the Marvel movies. He just produces, he oversees, and makes sure that it's all cohesive and shit. And so that's what James Gunn's really doing. And yeah, he'll write a couple things, but no, there's going to be animated video games, TV series, movies, and they're all connected. All the same actors are going to play the same characters across games, animated movies, and shows. So they're keeping it very tight and very cohesive and connected.
So
It's an
Adam is
experiment.
gonna be Batman.
It's never been done before. Now the Batman and all that, the patents and the Batman and the Jokers and all that, that's part of DC Elseworlds. That's unrelated, not part of the James Gunn DC thing. Yeah. So, but as far as
now, would you say this Crisis is part of that, or this is just the remnants of the old guard? Because I know James Ackles, he's Batman, right?
It's the old guard. Well, what would you say, Reno? I would say more of a transition because I know from DC animated, the Apocalypse War was the end of the New 52 era.
Yeah.
And Superman Man of Tomorrow was the beginning of the new animated era. So they went to all new actors and voice actors and things, animation and all that.
Right. Well, there's actually an answer to that, a legit answer. Let me find it because I actually wrote that down.
Ackles, he's the one from
Supernatural.
Supernatural and the Boys. He's yeah. So I'm like, him as Batman, that'd be interesting.
He voices a dang good Batman though.
Hell yeah. But just to see him like that, I'd be like, hold up. Be very interesting.
Yeah.
If they
How do y'all feel about like how Gunn is doing with everything being connected, like Reno was saying, from the TV shows, animation, movies, video games, so forth? Like,
it's an experiment. It's the first time it's ever been done. No one's ever done it before, so we don't know if it's going to be good or not. If it's going to work, we don't know because no one's ever done that. Marvel's got the cohesive movies, and their film and their shows apparently connect, but do they? They connect because they say they do, but they're not really using any of the same characters. The animated do not connect. The video games do not connect. So, and if they do connect, even the What If show has different actors playing the characters. Like the guy that plays Tony Stark is not Robert Downey Jr., right? So that's already that Marvel. No one's done this before. So I think it's an interesting prospect. Yeah, it's ambitious and it's an interesting prospect. If it's done right, of course, that'd be fucking dope. If it works,
it can be lucrative though, or it would be.
I think it's lucrative for the actors involved.
Yeah,
that means consistent work.
Right.
They don't have to worry about. But it also hinders the actors' growth for some of them who want to venture off and do other things. Because you remember, like the time schedules for all this stuff, anime, movies, television, and video games, they all have their own different schedules during the year. So if it's on one thing, that means you got to give them multi-million-dollar contracts.
Right.
I'm going to be Batman for 10 years. Hey, man, you got to pay me because there's some other stuff that I could be doing that's passion projects or stuff that can put me on the Oscar level, because every actor want to get an Oscar, basically. You know what I mean?
Right.
They want to reach that height. So if they can't get anything during that time to reach that height, you got to compensate me, compensate me for this. So I don't know. That's why I say it's ambitious,
Yeah. Well, as far as Crisis on Infinite Earths, being a part of, the Guns, Guns DC and all of that, he's confirmed that it is not connected.
Okay.
I didn't, it's not. I knew it wouldn't be because the actors are not the actors right there. The actor that's playing Superman's voice is not the guy. Is not Corn Sweat. So. That's how we know for a fact that it's not. But yeah, he did confirm it. I guess on Twitter he said, does this voice actors movies be James Gunn universe? Yeah. So he said, well, I don't know what he said exactly, but he confirmed that it was not connected.
It's ambitious, but at the same time, they're doing so well with this DC animation. It's the top of the line animation period to me as far as superhero centric. So it's like, I mean, why even put stress on that? You know what I mean? Keep the actors that are making those the animes great. Keep them because it's basically at this point it's your money maker, you know, and leave the acting to the actors who want to do the live renditions. You know what I mean? So I know they're trying to save money, but sometimes saving money you can hurt yourself. Look at Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and some people are confused about the continuity, or about Gunn's new. They don't fucking understand. People they're like Gunn's continuity's already messed up. It's already messy. No, motherfucker, it hasn't started yet. Relax. Nothing has started yet, and they keep telling them this. The first the first thing it's going to have is Creature Commandos. That's going to be an animated movie. That's the first thing that's going to be. When that comes out, James Gunn shit begun. And everything now is going to be connected unless it's Elseworlds. So, and the first lot is going to go Creature Commandos animated joint. Then it's going to go Superman Legacy live action. That's the first project and the first live action. Creature Commandos, Superman Legacy, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, Crisis on Infinite Earths. All of that is the old shit. That's the old guard. Now, Blue Beetle, the character played by what's his name, Zolo, is going to carry on in the DCU, which is the only thing that anyone can claim is confusing. But what are you fucking for? You can't figure that out. He was a character that was not part of the Justice League or any of those previous movies. He came in at the ass end, and he was not related to any of the old stuff. So it's not confusing that he's in the new thing, and he's a young kid. He didn't really get his shot, and they're putting him in the new stuff. And it's fine because he wasn't in any of the Justice League stuff from before, any of the Snyder stuff. He wasn't in any of it. And that's what they're worried about. I was pissed when they're dropping Henry Cavill and all of that. Black Adam, I thought it was going to be Black Adam and Superman was coming next. Like, I was all down for that shit. The Rock had me hyped. And then Gunn comes out and he's like, "Oh, we're cutting Cavill off," and I was pissed, and everybody was pissed. And Spade, you're still pissed. You're still boycotting Gunn over that shit. And I mean, and I get it, because Cavill, in my opinion, was the perfect Superman that we've ever had. Man of Steel was the only Superman movie that I really loved, and they shit on it. So initially I was pissed too, because I'm a fan of Snyder's dark type shit. I like Snyder's shit. I love fucking Rebel Moon.
Man. You got to know why that is. It's the contracts, man. They got too heavy. It's like with Marvel, the contracts get too heavy.
Man, I mean,
come on. If they beg Downey to do something at Marvel, basically you're making the movie just to pay him.
Well, and they weren't doing well. Like the Snyder movies weren't doing well, and DC was like, we're in trouble, and whatever Marvel's doing seems really to be working, and let's get us a Kevin Feige, and maybe we can even get someone from Marvel to be our Kevin Feige, and they can make this whole thing cohesive, and let's do what Marvel's doing because it works. And they just chopped everything that was before that, and they're like, let's just start from scratch. And they brought this guy James Gunn, who had been doing well and did the Guardian stuff and did some work for them that they liked, Peacemaker, Suicide Squad. So they knew him, and they're like, let's just put him in ahead of the whole thing. Him and Peter Safran. It's not just James Gunn. People forget that. Gunn and Peter Safran, and they're not writing every movie or directing every movie at all. They're just overseeing. What he basically did is made an outline. Here we're gonna do chapter 1 of Gods and Monsters. Animated movies, shows, films, video games. Here's how they're gonna go. 1 through 10. He's giving it to you. This is everything it's going to be in. This is how it's going to go, and all of that. It's a cohesive. It's a chunk. You can easily digest it and follow it.
With the actors that they cut, like, all right, Cavill we all know, was their greatest mistake.
Yeah.
But this new guy, Cornsweat, he looks like a baby Cavill, like his little brother.
Yeah.
He's his little brother.
And that's what they're going for. Gunn's going for a younger Superman.
And remember, less millions on the table.
Yeah.
Because remember, Cavill's, you know, his contract is heavy loaded too, because he's the guy, Superman. He's the guy. You know,
Well,
But
so
to me, it's like Warner Brothers sabotaged themselves. They shot themselves. They panicked when Justice League was released, and it's like I mean, I get it. They could have, they had deadlines. I get it. You got deadlines. You got things you got to meet. Peace out, Johnny. You got things. You got deadlines and whatever you got to meet. But it was just like, all right, you could have maybe waited until Zack Snyder could have, got over the tragedy of his daughter to continue. Like, hey, we kind of do need to push this movie back some. You could do your reshoots or whatever, so forth. Because just about everybody I talked to when they watched Justice League versus Justice League, they were like, Justice League was a much better movie. Y'all should have just released this in theaters instead. And it's like over the panic of that, over having Joss Whedon, because let's face it, we know the last two Avengers movies had more substance than the first two. First one was great, and I even like Age of Ultron. I'm like, it was still good. I don't hate on it like a lot of people do, but just the substance in Infinity War and Endgame were different than the first two. Maybe that was due to the directors, because I know they changed directors. They got the brothers to come in and direct those movies instead of having Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
But it's just like after that, DC Warner Brothers just panicked, like, oh no, we need to do all this. And I'm like, you still had other ideas that were on the plate that you could have done to rectify that mess that was Justice League. You had, other stories you could tell. And I know a lot of times, Reno, you and I talked about this a lot. And Raw Talk, I'm sure you've heard this a lot too, about pulling not a lot, but pulling a little bit from the comics. Because let's face it, we know people don't read.
Yeah.
We know people don't read comics, so it's just like, to them it's gonna be a fresh idea.
Right.
But pull a little. Now you ain't got to pull the whole damn thing, but pull a little bit from it. Piece it together here and there, and tell a story on screen. And I'm like, it would be more than viable. But that's just my personal opinion. I thought like Warner Brothers just panicked and shot themselves in the foot. They're like, oh no, we gotta scrap all this stuff that we were doing. It was like, y'all really need to get rid of some heads of state that couldn't get out their own way.
Yeah. Well, they didn't drop them. The reason they did it is it's not because they felt they couldn't do anything with them characters or them stories. Their reasoning is that, and this is what they say, is that they felt, and they're not wrong about this, I agree with them, is that casual fans, people that watch movies, just regular, assholes out there, they will be confused. They won't understand that this is a new universe because, hey, that's that same Aquaman guy. That's the same Superman guy. That's the same Wonder Woman actress. So in their heads, they're not going to realize this is a completely different universe, not related to that universe. And they wanted it to be clear this is a new universe. It's not part of that universe. And so they felt if they used any of the actors from the original, that other universe, it would confuse the casual morons. And they're not wrong about that. It's a bitter pill to swallow. And even James Gunn said, I hate that we had to drop Henry Cavill because of that reason, because he's a great Superman, but that's not the story we're telling. And so to use them characters or those actors, it confuses the casual viewers.
But there's one thing though. What Aquaman is going to be Lobo.
Yes.
So that's still going to confuse.
Well, he's going to be up. He's going to be.
Agree with him on that.
I think he'll look mad different, but he'll be playing a different character, so it won't be quite as confusing as if he was still playing Aquaman.
I mean, they're not going to put too much makeup on him because without makeup, he looks like Lobo.
Yeah,
he would have been Lobo out the gate.
No,
Aquaman. Every time I seen him while he was playing Aquaman, I'm thinking Lobo.
You thought about Lobo.
Yeah, he's Lobo. He has the attitude and everything. Remember the first movie I've seen him in with Sylvester Stallone, Bullet to the Head. I was like, he's Lobo. How did he get Lobo? When I seen Bullet to the Head, I was like, that's Lobo.
Yeah.
Even back then. So it's like, I don't know.
I agree. I think he is Lobo. But he's so perfect for Lobo. They couldn't not do that. You know what I mean? Like I guess sometimes it's just too perfect and they can't avoid it. But it is what it is, man. I do have high hopes, and I do think there is good potential there. I think DC, if they do this, if they don't pull it off, they're done. Like they have to get this right. They have to. But if they do, and Marvel continues on the way it's been going on, they're gonna take the top spot, and they're gonna be the top ones, and Marvel's gonna be second fiddle.
But
MCU.
But
DC,
it's to use a wrestling reference. I know like Peter Safran and the James Gunn are basically like they're gonna Vince McMahon that shit, right? They're Vince McMahon of
Uh,
DC universe now. And for a while, if anybody knew or recalled, back in like the late 90s and 2000s, WCW was kicking the WWF's ass for about 2 years.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden you saw this shift change where WWF started coming up. So you kind of can see that coming. It's like now it probably will be in the next few years DC's turn to be number one, especially in movies, because Marvel's done ruled it for so long, with the inclusion of MCU. And we know we've been watching, especially superhero movies for years, how everything was just kind of here, that, here, that, here, that. Then you get a straight, level of rising of Marvel and their characters. Like people, saw the first Iron Man movie, so some got interested in Iron Man and wanted to read. But Robert Downey Jr. breathed so much character into Tony Stark and Iron Man that he made him interesting. Because Iron Man was like Aquaman. They were back and forth, like they were just a butt of superhero jokes.
yeah.
Right.
But now it's like not so much.
Yeah.
People like Seaman. They're kind of like, oh man, these are dope characters now.
Top tier now. Yeah.
And Robert Downey, for his credit, he tapped into Tony Stark's identity the best because he was a recovering addict.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he identified with him. You know what I mean? Famous. He's famous, rich. You know what I mean?
And
Tony Stark, rich. Only thing was the genius part.
and the billionaire part. But still, I mean, he really did bring realness to that character. But me, I mean, I was a Ghostface Killer fan, so I'm already an Iron Man fan. When that movie came out, I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was on board from jump. But
yeah, I like the outtakes when
Space,
he was in it. He pulled up. He seen Ghost in the car. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh man,
I was happy.
that was great.
I was happy for him.
yeah, I mean, even in the movie, we're playing the song and shit in the airplane.
Yeah.
Dope. But yeah, as far as DC, he said that there's a few things going into production this year, not just the Superman. So you've got basically in a thread posting in his Threads account, he responded to a fan asking if Legacy was the only DC project that was going to be production this year, and he just said nope. And that was his response. But Legacy begins principal photography in March, and the cast of the upcoming movie will be taking shape. And then the film will be the first of 5 movies in the first installment of the new look DCU, Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters. That's the name. Marvel has Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. They have chapters. DC has Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, featuring David Corenswet as the Man of Steel, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, Skylar DeSando as Jimmy Olsen, Maria Gabriela De Faria as Angela Spica, the engineer, who's going to be like the main villain from The Authority. Also featuring in the film precedes other upcoming feature-length DCU entries like The Brave and the Bold, which is the Batman and Damian Wayne project that I'm excited about because I fuck with Damian. He's my favorite Robin. And then The Authority, is going to be,
asshole though.
huh?
As a Damien, he a little asshole, but he kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Supergirl, Wonder Woman of Tomorrow, and Swamp Thing, which I'm super fucking hyped for.
You
Now,
know,
did either of y'all ever watch the Swamp Thing show that was
yeah,
on
I
the?
got it. Yeah,
Man,
that was
Damn,
a
I
real
love
good
this
show.
show.
It was
damn,
real.
why they canceled that shit, dog? Yeah, I was mad.
Dude, I love that show. I'm like, I bought it on DVD too, so I'm like,
Man.
I was so pissed off it was only one season. I'm like,
Yeah, man. I was like, they messed up.
because it had that right horror element in it too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was perfect, man. That's fucking yeah, dude. That I mean, if it's anywhere near that good, man, it's gonna be. I can't wait. And I
Now,
think
that I do have hope for. I ain't gonna lie, that one I do have hope.
I think they'll drop that under Elseworlds.
no,
You know what I'm saying? Because I think the Elseworlds would be a darker tone, and I think
not
like
always, but I get your point. But God is part of Gods and Monsters. It's part of
because
the
you know James
So
Gunn. I
it's in
mean,
the first
even though
chapter.
he's great at what he does, he's
yeah.
more of a livelier producer. You know, he likes his little quirky jokes. He likes his different
But
cinematic ways.
he's got a dark. If you watch
I mean,
Peacemaker and
yeah,
Suicide Squad, he's got a dark side.
yeah. I mean, but I
Mm,
don't know.
He's got a dark side. Bro.
Fellas, I gotta get ready to take off
All
myself.
right,
But
Spade.
Husky.
it was so good to be on here for the new year, and Reno, I'm happy to see you doing better. And Raw Talk, man, brother, it's good to see you.
Same here, brother. Same
Man,
here.
yeah, man.
And
Come back, bro. Come back.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will,
man.
I'll
Shoot
be
it
back.
up.
I ain't gonna stray away for too long. You know that.
That's
Indeed,
what's up.
indeed. We definitely got to talk about McFarlane, man, because he got me over here scratching my head. All at $40, man. I'm like, come on, man, for real.
What's happening? Oh, we gonna talk about that. Yeah, we got.
You gonna talk about that on Monday?
Yeah, for sure.
All
Yeah,
right, then I'm gonna do my damnedest to tune in. If I'm not here, you'll see me in the comments. But yeah.
cool.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Love y'all, man. Peace.
Love you too, bro. Be safe. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
but the after ahead of Legacy, the Superman movie, the first DCU Max show is going to be Creature Commandos, which will be unveiled late this year, and it stars Frank Grillo. If you know, I don't know if you know that actor is Frank.
I think I know him. Yeah.
You know, Maria Bakalova, David, yeah, yeah, David Harbour and Sean Gunn, who is James Gunn's brother. He played the guy that took over for Yondu.
Yeah. He's the weird guy. Yeah.
With the thing. But yeah, that was confirmed in the official DCU timeline to come out ahead of Legacy, but that this year. Legacy apparently will be, according to DC, a workplace origin story. Basically, so it's going to be around the Daily Planet, chronicling Clark Kent's ascendancy while working for the newspaper, and his budding romance with Lois, and how he transformed into the beloved last son of Krypton. And a log line for the upcoming movie was recently released to plug the story, though Gunn recently disputed some of the details. On the contrary, fans shouldn't expect a trailer anytime soon for this movie, with Gunn offering a very disappointing update about a possible teaser. But yeah, Gunn. So recently, there had been reports that Superman was starting to doing shooting in March. Also reported that the logline, which simply read, "Superman, a cub reporter in Metropolis, embarks on a journey to reconcile his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent." And then Gunn goes to social media to confirm that the movie is planned to start filming in March, but he went on to describe how the logline was not entirely accurate.
Okay.
He said, "Not sure where this logline came from. I didn't write it. It has elements of truth, obviously based on things I've said in the past, but I wouldn't describe the plot this way. I wouldn't call Clark a cub reporter. He's a 30-year-old full-on reporter. But yeah, we shoot in March. I'm grateful every day. Our production team worked their asses off to keep things going through the strikes. Forces impelled us to stop many times, and if we had, we'd never make it to July 2025. That's their date they're going to bust it out. But he was frustrated by the log line. He also said, one of the most frustrating things about that log line after the use of Cub Reporter is how horribly written it is. Of course, Gunn never exactly been shy about sharing his, thoughts on projects that he's working on. He definitely goes on Twitter, goes back and forth with fans and talks shit and gets into it. But his latest correction came just days after he cleared the air on Guardians co-star for getting cast for a role in the film, and revealing that no one has ever even discussed her being in the movie. And there's this that she's been. So, but then what's known about Superman Legacy is that we'll introduce David Corn Sweat as DCU's Man of Steel, joined by Rachel Brosnahan as Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Gunn has also confirmed previously that the movie would not be an origin story for Superman. He said he's already fairly into his life as the flying superhero. That changes to Clark Kent. He's been doing this for a little while. Not 15 years or anything, but he's been doing it a few years. I'm thinking maybe like Batman, like year 2, 3, something like that, maybe. But maybe more. But he says it will feature other DCU characters to help set up other upcoming projects. So when Green Lantern comes in and Supergirl comes in, they're intended to have their own movies and shows. So Supergirl's got Superwoman, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, and then you've got the Authority, you've got the Brave and the Bold, you've got Swamp Thing, that are all part of the Gods and Monsters thing. But yeah, we'll get to see Superman Legacy next year. We got to wait this whole year, so
right,
it's gonna be a long year. Yeah, but this year we get next July. But this year we do get to see Deadpool. Hopefully that'll be good. I don't
There's
know.
so many things going on about that the movie, the production, the filming, the back and forth with Ryan Reynolds and Marvel, all this crazy for what? Like, we hear there's a what's his name? Sabretooth shows up because they, basically Deadpool is killing the Fox universe, basically.
Yeah, we saw Sabretooth. We saw the pictures of the long hair Sabretooth from the Ass movie.
Yeah.
I'm pissed. Why are they doing that? Like, why are they giving us these characters from these movies that suck that we don't want to see again? We didn't like the movies. That's why we want new shit. I don't know why they're doing that. I really don't. I know they think it's cheeky and cute and all that, but it's a very cheap way to get some likes.
Yeah, but I think with it's going to be a montage thing when they do stuff like that. I think that's part of a montage. You know what I'm saying? So remember when he was in the last movie, he was starting to do that, going back into the old movies. And he killed who did he killed himself, didn't he? Or the old and then he killed the Green Lantern. You know what I'm saying? You seen the blood on the script and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I mean, I think it's going to be something like that. You're going to have a good villain in there, but I think there's going to be a montage where, we're going to just kill all these people off and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I think so. But we gotta wait and see. We never know what's gonna happen. But I had to grab the DC Encyclopedia because before we go, we have to do our DC Day dive into the book, the Bible, the DC tome of fucking lore.
Where did we leave off at?
I think we did. I don't know, man. I think we just started at the beginning. There's a lot we could do, but I think we were talking about the different ages. We were
Yeah,
talking about,
yeah,
yeah, Marvel. We covered Silver Age, Bronze Age, Golden Age, Dark Age, and since today we're talking about the movie Crisis on Infinite Earths, I think we should cover that real quick. Crisis on Infinite Earths, number one, April 19th, a streamline of various multiple Earths that had formed in the 50-year history. DC Comics launches a 12-issue miniseries that has seen many worlds perish at the hands of the Anti-Monitor. When the villain is finally dispatched, only one Earth remains. In this new reality, most Earth 2 heroes are established as having been active during World War II, while the adventures of Earth 1's heroes take place in the present day. In the wake of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the origin stories for icons such as Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman are retold, and the major continuity corrections that match the reality of their new Earth. So basically, they consolidated everything into two Earths: the current guys and the original guys, the
yep,
old school World War II guys.
yep. The Justice Society, and then you had the Justice League.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so we just a quick recap: the Silver Age, the Bronze Age. The Silver Age was 1956. The Bronze Age 1970. 56 to 70. Bronze Age was 70 to about 80. Golden Age was going to be 1938 to oh, why did I skip Golden Age? Sorry, Golden Age is 1938 to 1942 or 1950 or so. Silver Age is 50 to 70. Bronze Age is 70 to 80. And then we jump down to the Dark Age, which is the 80s. They call that the Dark Age. It's hilarious.
Because they call it the Dark Age, probably because comic sales wasn't that great. Then they were good, they were steady, but they wasn't.
Nah, they call it.
They
Well, maybe that's secretly why they do it, but
right?
they're saying the reason they call it the Dark Age is because of the type of stuff that was coming out. You had the Dark Knight. Batman was the Dark Knight. Watchmen,
And
Legends, and then Batman Adventures, Zero Hour. Superman at the time was
yeah, that
killed.
0 hour, man, that was crazy.
Yeah, Death of Superman. I mean,
Mhm.
all this stuff was going down. It was a very dark time for the empire. But and then we jump over to, and that went all the way up to the mid '90s, and then we jump into the modern age, the 2000s, which the modern age goes all the way up until
Now,
no, actually, I like what they've done here, because technically, what we always had was it went gold, silver, bronze, and modern. And modern had been going ever since the fucking 80s, and we never had nothing else. But
yeah,
what they did here is they chopped it up. They gave us dark age, then they give us modern age, and then they give us prime age. So where we are now is prime age. Yeah, from 2018 to now, we are in the prime age.
2018.
Yeah, that's where they started at
Wow.
with Dark Knight's Metal.
Oh yeah, that started in. Okay, I see where we going with it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So going back, they jumped over in the early 2000s was Identity Crisis, Blackest Night, all of that, Infinite Crisis, all of that. The 52. And then we jumped over to, we had Flashpoint in 2011, phenomenal. Then Modern Age continues, New 52, fucking Justice League, Forever Evil, Convergence, and then DC Rebirth happens in 2016, and then we jump down. I think maybe DC Universe Rebirth might be the beginning of Prime Age. I'm not sure. Well, it's right before Prime Age. Prime Age, then they do Dark Knight's Metal. They go to Doomsday Clock, which Dark Knight's Death Metal, and
metal age, they should say.
or everything is death and metal.
Right.
Hey, if you're still here, man, if y'all still here, we gonna do the giveaway, man. Somebody's gonna win Night Force Tunnel Rat. And I gotta show y'all some dope kit bashes and some new figures. But real quick, man, just so you know, every Saturday, DC Power Hour, we're gonna crack open the DC Encyclopedia and just start and go through it alphabetically and just learn about every damn character and every storyline and everything that DC ever had, because that's what DC Power Hour is all about. Learning about DC.
Thanks.
So starting here, I guess we're gonna just start at the top, which is Argus, and that's not because R is the first thing alphabetically, because there's a period. So it's, what do you call it? An anagram. What do you call it? Anagram? No. God damn it! It's escaping me right now. The one where it's a dot between each letter, and each letter it means a word. Each letter stands for a whole word.
It's an anagram.
No,
No,
it's a goddamn. I feel like an idiot right now. Cream is one. Anyways,
acronym.
acronym. Thank you. God damn, it's an anagram. Acronym. Is it acronym?
Yeah, acronym.
Okay. Anyway, Argus debut Justice League Volume 2, number 7. Base is mobile. The official name, Advanced Research Group Uniting Superhumans. So this is kind of like Marvel's Weapon X and shit like that, I think. Their super soldier program, maybe. It says unproven stories persist that the clandestine agency Argus had actually existed ever since the Revolutionary War. When Civil War divided the country several decades later, the organization came known as the Anonymous Ranger Group of the United States. Officially, Argus was created by the U.S. president as America's official government liaison to the Justice League, with Steve Trevor in command. Oh, this is like their shield. The agency provided financial support and cleanup services. Yeah, but its real purpose was to spy on the seemingly all-powerful superheroes. So yeah, this is their shield. Over a period of 5 years, Trevor expanded the organization's remit to include monitoring all metahuman and unnatural threats. Argus agents confiscated mystical artifacts and advanced technologies, policed extra-dimensional inclusions, and covertly battled monsters, villains, and superheroes, acting against the prevailed interests of the U.S. and humanity. These threats were neutralized and deposited as in classified research vaults as the Black Room, Red Room, and Circus. When Amanda Waller replaced Trevor, she created the Justice League of America as a secret weapon in case the original heroes should ever go rogue. So Amanda Waller be on some shit. She's got the Argus joints now. And
Argus. So Steve Trevor, that's Wonder Woman's man in the beginning, right?
Well, it says eyes on the prize. As long as Steve had a few good men and women to back him up, Argus could never be counted out. They got Steve Trevor, Agent Dale Gunn, Director Amanda Waller, and 4 is Etta Candy. Where's Amanda Waller? So that's them anyway.
Yeah. But Steve Trevor, wasn't he the romantic interest of Wonder Woman at one point?
I do not know that.
I think so. Hold on. I think Steve Trevor.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
We got the encyclopedia right here. Steal the deal. It might not say nothing about Steve Trevor because they already talked about him right there. Let me jump back to the appendix. Steve Trevor.
Yeah, Steve Trevor. Hold on. Yeah, Stephen Rockwell Trevor is a fictional character with DC. Wonder Woman. He was commonly in association with superhero Wonder Woman. Yeah. I remember from the TV show, Steve Trevor.
Oh, really?
So that's how he got his way into spying on other superheroes through Wonder Woman. So he was like a double agent in this, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, that's Steve Trevor. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, damn. He's mentioned like a whole bunch of times in this book. God damn. Like hella pages. All right, let's start. Let's see where he go. He start on 10. We know that one. 96. Let's go to 96. Why do they talk about him on page 96? Steve Trevor. Dr. Light appeared and was taken in by the Crimson Men, who promised to return him to his physical form if he gave them information on Steve Trevor. Dr. Light was forced back to attack Trevor. He found himself also fighting Killer Frost. Trevor used Wonder Woman's lasso of truth on Dr. Light, causing him to remember that he had died, realizing he was just the echo of the real Dr. Light that had realizing just echo the apparition vanished in a blast of energy. Dr. Light embarked on a criminal career, adopting a white blah 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 blah. Damn, he looks like fucking. That looks like Deathstroke. That mask.
Yeah, and you remember in this Justice League Crisis that the scientist that she took on Dr. Light's powers.
Right.
Remember? So that was crazy too, because he
Yep.
was mentioned in the Crisis, Dr. Light.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep. Yep.
A lot of wild connections in DC. Period. Like
Exactly. And that's why they had to wrap that shit up. Let's see. They mention him here too.
mm.
Steve Trevor. Where's it at? Trevor. There it is.
Part of Argus. He's definitely just like on that Amanda Waller level.
Mm-hmm.
He just
she's mentioned a grip more than he is. He's mentioned he's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's mentioned on about 12 pages in this book. She's mentioned on 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 24.
shit. Yeah, Amanda Waller, she's kind of like she's like a she's very smart. She's everywhere, man. She's the antagonist in a lot of different things.
All them pages.
Yeah.
She's
Like Luthor. Like Lex Luthor was a genius, maniacal, and thought he was doing good by protecting the world from Superman. She thinks the same way. She just don't have the money. She just got the government behind her. But she's not. She's just not a genius. But she's super smart and strategic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Her and Lex Luthor, they get together sometimes, and they're just ruthless. Their ideology line up. So it's like they hate enhance. Well, not enhance. They hate superheroes. They don't like. They dislike them. Period. Because it makes them feel inferior.
Exactly.
You know. So.
Yeah. Oh, this motherfucker here.
Yeah, man.
Lex Luthor. He on about 1,000 pages. What's up?
Yeah.
No? Oh. But yeah, so that's our what do you call it? Our entry for the day is Argus.
Yeah.
They are the it says starting over after the crime syndicate and secret society decimated Argus, Trevor dedicated himself to rebuilding the agency. So next Saturday we're gonna talk about All-Star Squadron.
Ooh, now that's a team. That's a team.
Yeah, it is. Oh my god, I'm looking at some of these characters. Ooh, I ain't gonna go into it. You gotta stay tuned next Saturday.
Yeah. All-Star Squadron is definitely a dope team.
All right. Now we're gonna do the giveaway.
Oh snap.
Before we do the giveaway though, check out some of these kit badges. Check out some of these badges, dog. You gonna love these joints. Cool. So what I did was, hold on, which one I'm gonna show you first? Well, first of all, this is the newest member to the roster. This ain't no kit bash. This is just the OG figure, and he's fucking dope. Him and his boy.
Oh, you got him. Nice. Mutton Junkie. Yeah, man.
Yeah, they look phenomenal. Let's get some light.
Yeah, he's definitely dope. I got him last month.
Word.
Yeah, I had him actually beginning of December, around that time I had him.
Get a better shot.
Dope.
There he goes. Yeah, I really love that. He really reminds me of the figure when I was a little kid. That's what I go, that's how I judge these figures, these classified figures. If they remind me of the character when I was a little kid, that's what I want. That's what I fuck with. And he does that perfectly. And it's really funny because when you take off his helmet and his mask, he looks just like my dad. Yo, shout out Pop. Hilarious that how he looks like my dad. Hold on. This is funny. I wish I could show y'all a picture of my pops, but let me see. Yo, pops. I know you be watching the show sometimes. Check this out. This is hilarious. I mean, granted, my dad's not raging with anger like this, but the way he looks. But no, it's just funny. If I can get his fucking mask off? Very hard to get off, apparently. But there he is. I mean, they got him kind of looking like an Arab. But this is my dad when he's super fucking pissed off. You see? Can I get it? No, you can't even see it. Damn.
No, you got it. It's there. It's there now. Yeah. You go. You good?
I mean, he's got the cleft chin. He's got the stash. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my pops right there. So hilarious.
Your pops got the Magnum PI look.
He do exactly. No, they used to call him Magnum PI in the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, he's official with it. Yeah, Italian. Let me throw the math. But yeah, because I tried to remember when I was like, how did Mutt look? The figure when I was a kid, I had to look it up. But he had the mask on. The toy had the O-ring.
Yeah.
The O-ring Mutt. Yeah, he had the mask on.
Yeah. Yep.
With like a helmet and a face mask. And I can't believe how hard it is to get the mask on and off of him. But it's it reminds me of like Scorpion or Sub-Zero. I mean, once you get it on,
mask, yeah.
Got a very Scorpion Sub-Zero type mask, really cool, and it looks great with the helmet.
Yeah, I got my guy in the back right there. He's chilling. Got mud up,
junkyard right here.
Up there, yeah.
Look how good both is. Look at that.
Yeah.
And articulated. Every ankle, every wrist. I mean, there's so much articulation on the animal. It's crazy. Even the neck and head. You don't see that a lot in toys. That's a new thing that they're doing with the
animals.
Yeah. Snake Eyes dog looked really good too.
Yep. I matched him up with the Leonard. That came with the 6-inch aliens. They had those dogs or what have you. That they had the Rottweilers also.
What was this from?
From the Leonard. I think it was Jaded Toys. Remember those alien you see in Walmart, the 6-inch aliens action
figure? Now?
Yeah, the Predators and the aliens.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Ones with the dogs.
Like what's it called? Nico.
I'll show you. Actually, hold on.
I know what you're talking. I'm trying to think of the damn name of the company. It's not Mayfix. Starts with an N. But anyway,
it's not NECA. It's not NECA.
That's what I'm talking about. NECA.
Nah.
Not NECA? Okay.
Hold on, I'll show you right quick.
So then I got check her out. This is Shooter. So Jody Shooter was a dope character. Yeah, he's a dope character that they kind of added later to fill the spot. In the original comic book, there was a panel where there was a monitor, a computer screen with 14 monitors, one on top of the other. So like two in a row. And there was only 13 G.I. Joes at the time. So the 14th screen had a silhouette and it said like top secret or something.
Yeah.
And had no character there. Everyone else had every character, Flash and Strike, all the characters, right? Um, and in the 14th panel, in the 14th screen, it had a silhouette and it said shooter. And that was the name of this character. They never talked about, they never showed the character again. They didn't make the character, they just wrote the word shooter right there, and then it was kind of just forgotten. Later, they decided to put a character there, and they made this character Shooter, Jody Shooter.
Yeah, Jim Shooter, what was it?
Jim Shooter from Marvel Comics, and
Yeah.
so they made this character. So the character comes with like high top shoes. So I switched her.
I knew you had to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Raw Talk gave me the idea, and I switched her boots with fucking Scarlet, and it looks phenomenal. It looks really dope. They're black boots. They match perfectly. So she looks really dope. Then I took Lady J's hat and wig and gave her the Lady J. I colored the hair black with a Sharpie, real easy, made it black shiny, and threw the cap. So now she's Shooter with the cap, with the shooting cap.
Well, I'm gonna do that now too. Thanks for the idea, bro.
I mean, because you know, because I got the new Lady J with the bright green, and so I took my old Lady J and used the hat. And there you go. That's that little bash right there. Nice. Then I did this guy. Well, let's see. How can I do this one? So first, I got Night Force.
These are the dogs I wanted to show you.
Oh yeah, let's check them out real quick.
Yeah, these are the dogs from those that line with the alien and stuff like that. They would have these little dogs with them, and the dog would be, you know, the face sucker from the alien would be on the dog's face. But these are the dogs that came in the pack.
Those are dope. Those are perfect, right?
So you know, they're a little bit smaller or a little bit taller than
they look a little
bigger. Than Junkyard, but
just a little bit, but yeah,
they're pretty decent.
Yeah. Then I got two of these. That's why we're doing a giveaway with one of them, Night Force Tunnel Rat. I got Night Force Tunnel Rat because I already had the regular Tunnel Rat. He was my favorite, one of my favorite Joes. And so here's what I did. You see this guy looking super streamlined, and that's the original Tunnel Rat with all his gear that they give him. He's got the dope backpack, the big with the flashlights and the headgear, and the super duper sniper rifle, and he's got his little man bag, his little sack, his merce. And he's got his chest holster. You know what I'm saying, with the revolver. Where's the revolver? Like 38, and his revolver right there on his chest. He's got his knife and shit on his legs. Okay, but what you're noticing about this right now, you're like, why does it look a little bit weird, a little bit different? Because on the original one, the man bag, the leg holsters, the chest gun, it's all brown.
Yeah.
These are green, which match his green backpack, because I took them off of Night Force Tunnel Rat, who, if you notice, does not have any face paint.
Mm-hmm.
The original Tunnel Rat did, but as you see here, he doesn't, because I put the face painted Tunnel Rat on my Night Force Tunnel Rat.
Okay.
I removed the bullet thing, I removed the man bag, and I removed the chest holster. I replaced it with one of Snake Eyes' the gray and black Snake Eyes, his grenade strap chest belt thing.
Yeah.
And I took his belt, Snake Eyes' belt, because this guy's belt, if you see, it's green.
Yeah.
But I wanted to cover that because I want everything to be black and gray.
Mm.
Basically, I'm X-forcing him out. I took the gray scarf from the original, because he had a green one. I took the gray scarf from the other Tunnel Rat, put it on him. This is the original Tunnel Rat's face with the face paint, and the gray do-rag, because the other one had a bandana that's green. The Night Force one is green. I don't like the lighting on this. Why is it like that? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Maybe I can put it like this. Nah, I don't get it.
No, you good. I mean, you just gotta let it focus in. Once you got it, it'll focus in.
Right.
There you go. It just focused.
There it goes.
Yeah.
This is Jody. This is Shooter's gun. So he has a sniper rifle that's different and less cumbersome. There, cumbersome. Damn, I hate that. Because he's such a dope looking. I wish you guys could see him. Right, that glare is ridiculous, man. Let me see if I can work on this lighting. But anyway, he's I took him down. I took down his gear, made him a little bit more streamlined. So he's got a lot less shit all over him. And I'm experimenting, y'all. I'm fucking around. It's wild though. Maybe if I put the camera behind the light behind the camera. That's
you good, right? Yeah, I mean, it's just the camera that has to focus its lens. That's all.
You see, it's focused on my face instead of this.
Yeah, but when you push it forward, a little bit, it focuses on the action figure.
Yeah. I don't know if I can get that light. If I could get that light to stand still. But anyway, maybe if I put it right there. Hell no. Anyways, it ain't gotta work. That's cool. But that's him. So he's got the, and then I also took the leg holster from what's his name, from the guy with the metal detectors, with the minesweeper.
You talking about
Pardon.
I gotta look at him. Let me see. Oh, Tripwire.
Tripwire. Oh, yeah, my brain is farting on itself. Brain fart. There he goes. But yeah, Tripwire. I took Tripwire's leg holster because it's gray and he's got the 45 and it just looked dope.
Yeah.
I put the his shades that he's wearing are from Mutt.
All right. The extra joints, yeah.
Yeah, because he comes with one pair that goes on his helmet, and then he comes with one pair that goes on his face. All do. So this is the pair that goes on his face, obviously, and you put those on him, and he's got and then on his backpack, is the little, that thing holds the rifle that's in his hand. It clips on that, so he can carry it on his back. And I blacked out the patch on his arm. The shades were originally gold. I blacked the lenses out. Basically with a Sharpie, but I gotta get some paint and do it right. But yeah, in the meantime, that's my stealth operator Tunnel Rat, and he's gonna rock with low light. And Jody, a shooter,
sniper
squad. Night stealth sniper squad. And then last but not least, I took the brown gear that I took off of the original Tunnel Rat, because I replaced all his gear with the green gear, and I put it on Dusty. So Dusty has a bunch of extra gear. Now he's got these gear on his legs, the knife and shit. He's got a little satchel. He's got his man bag. Bunch of gear.
Okay.
He's got the chest holster. So basically, I just made him look a little bit more beefed up. Like he's got a little bit going on. And then of course, I totally hooked up his helmet because that other one was bullshit. That bucket head. This is actual fucking cloth, like the original toy in the 80s. I'm super fucking proud of this, if you can't tell.
That shit is dope as hell.
I fucking love this helmet, man. It made this one of my favorite figures. And I passed on Dusty, bro. I just bought Dusty recently, like a month ago. And I put, because the helmet was so fucking bad, dude. It was like an upside down paint bucket.
I know. I got two of them. I got the other one too. The Tiger Force Dusty.
Right.
Same way, yeah.
And I can show you how to fix that one too. It's the same thing, but the original toy in the 80s, even the little O-ring joint had cloth. He had a felt. I mean,
you know what it is. They're gonna do a retro Dusty, and he's gonna have the cloth helmet.
I believe it.
Yeah, just so they can make an extra $27.
Or they'll probably make him. They'll give him some
Same
extra.
body and everything.
They'll give him an extra piece of gear and make him $40.
Yeah. Yep.
Extra plastic bullshit, something like that. But yeah, one retro card back I'm dying for is Cobra Commander. That's coming soon. Can't wait for that. But still on here. If you're still one of the 3 people in the chat right now, you obviously are here for the giveaway. And so here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put the timer on the clock.
Oh,
You guys got fucking 30 seconds to tell me get your fingers on the mouses. I know you're gonna hit Google up, but you only got 30 seconds. You're gonna tell me. Let me make it something that y'all can easily maybe even know already. I don't want to make it too hard, but I don't want to make it too easy.
Yeah.
This is a dope figure that you had to pre-order.
Is it G.I. Joe trivia, or is it going to be DC, or
it's going to be we're going to do DC trivia.
Okay.
The DC is DC Day, and we got the DC Encyclopedia out. Okay. This is gonna be obviously who can look it up the fastest, because I know y'all ain't gonna, probably none of y'all gonna know this. Whoever looks it up and puts it in the chat the fastest, tell me the first appearance of DC Comics, the Spectre. Counting down, y'all. 15 seconds.
All right.
If nobody wins Raw Talk, you can't win. It's only for the viewers. Viewers. Nobody wins though. If nobody wins though, by the time this minute is up, it's going back to Sunday. It's going back to Monday.
Yeah, it's better to go back to Monday then. All right.
That's it. 30 seconds. The clock is done. Nobody won. That's pitiful, y'all.
All right, here's my answer.
What's your answer? Oh, yeah, he got it. But yeah, we're not counting that. We're not counting that, y'all. But hey, back Monday, and somebody can win this super dope John right here.
Yeah, that'd be a dope, a nice addition to the collection type deal.
Yeah, man.
That's the only one I'm missing at this point.
Oh, word?
Yeah, but I normally stumble upon them. I had the other day stumbled upon the what you call it, the with that zombie character. I forget his name, the mole rat. And then I saw on the Alley Viper, the red version.
Dog, I'm looking for both of them. Where did you get? Well, I'm not really looking for.
I walked into Walmart early. Something told me to go to Walmart early in the morning, and I was going in to get some extra water and stuff. And I went in the toy section. There was both of them right there. Bing. I was like, and they were the only ones.
The only figures my Walmart ever will have is the card back Destro, the card back Gung Ho, and the card back fucking Lady J. There's the Snake Eyes with the scarf. All right, that's it. No, wait, I think
these bad boys.
Oh no, but yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I caught these. I was like, oh snap. And I was like, it takes patience. They'll show up.
Yeah.
There's no way you're not gonna get what you want. It'll show up, unless it's something exclusive off Hasbro Pulse or whatever like that. But
Right.
otherwise, you'll find them. They'll be there. Sure.
Yeah.
Even the his tank. If let's say a year from now, you'll find somebody selling their his tank, and it ain't gonna be for a crazy amount of money because everybody knows the base price for his tank.
Yeah. The people gonna try to get 500 for it off rip, but that's it.
500 without all the figures. In order to get that 500, they gotta have it complete.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have some people they're gonna look, this is too much on my shelf. I'm gonna sell his tank. Maybe I can get 200 to 300 for it.
Well, a lot of people bought multiple of them so they could sell some.
Yeah.
But those are the scalpers. Those are the ones that are trying to double their money and shit. What they're trying to do is get a free one. So they figure like this. Here's how they do it. They order two and they sell one for double the price. That way they get theirs for free.
Yeah. But some people are even breaking down the figures, saying, "Oh, the Cobra Commander is $200." What? Yeah.
Especially because they're about to drop a fucking retro card back one without the Mickey Mouse bullshit.
Yeah, but see, here's the crazier thing, the stuff, because we all do it. We shit on Disney, and Disney has negative connotations and history with it. Being on that, that creepy side of the game. You know what I'm saying, with kids and all that. Why would we want to have a Mickey Mouse version of Cobra Commander? Why would we care about that? You know what I mean? Don't make sense.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm not, because I was originally I was mad because I didn't get the his tank. I got the Dragonfly.
Yeah.
But I didn't get his tank, and I really wanted a retro Cobra Commander because the one they gave us was ass. And I want a retro Cobra Commander. And when I seen that was part of it, I was like, oh, I was going crazy. I was like, yo, somebody got to sell me their joint. I said, whoever got two his tanks, fucking, I know you don't want two Cobra Commanders, so sell me one of yours and shit like that. I'm thinking, talking about $200 and shit. I'm like, man, fuck out of here, dog. Because I found out they were, I'm like, anyway, I know they're gonna put one out, on a card back, and then it's literally now it's on deck. Like the retro Cobra Commander is on deck. It's coming out. I think it'll be out this year.
Yep.
So no big deal there. And before we dip, we've been talking about Rebel Moon a lot ever since we first heard about it. The movie that we saw was just in my opinion, it's just a rough draft. It's just a matter of fact, it's a cookie cutter version that he gave Netflix so they could have their nice little in a package movie with all the right time and this length and all that bullshit, so that then he can put out the real movie. Okay, the real movie is his director's cut that he's even said it's almost a different movie. It's got so much more in it that it makes the plot make more sense. It's just got a whole lot. It's just like a whole new movie.
But I really like that Rebel Moon. Period. I like it regardless. I like the movie. Period.
I really did. I like his style.
Sci-fi movie.
It is, and I like his dark style. I like the way he does movies. He always has a dark tone, and I dig that shit. That's what I'm into. I like it, and fucking basically, this is what Star Wars should have evolved into, because it grows with the fucking fans who are now older men instead of and some women, but mainly older men that fuck with Star Wars. So the sequel trilogy and all this Rey bullshit and all this shit, that's not for any Star Wars fans. That's trying to make new fans out of some new dumb shit. Yeah. And that's just bull fuckery. But this is what Star Wars should have become.
Yeah, it brought me back to the 80s with how the movies were made, just as an adventure and something where you can enjoy. You got some substance to it, but it's not too heavy for you to even be like, yo, man, my brain, I got to overload my brain. You know what I mean? It's just fun.
Action, sci-fi, good shit. Yeah.
When my man did the double cross, I was like, whoa. I kind of figured it, but then I was like, nah, he might be the dude we need, the hero. And then I'm like, oh, these scumbag.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know what I'm saying? And then they got him back. I was like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah,
This
and
is
and
so
and
good.
yeah, and like I said, that's just the little cookie cutter version. He's got a real dope R-rated
Mhm.
extended cut. It's gonna be, I think he said, almost twice as long. So think Snyder cut, so damn near a 4-hour movie. Then
Nice.
that's still just part one. Part two of the movie is called The Scar Giver. That's gonna come out in April. Yeah, that comes out in April,
Crazy.
and that's gonna be just a Netflix version. That's then gonna have another R-rated
Man,
4-hour.
really
So
putting it on.
like an 8-hour movie, part one, part two. I love
Saga.
that.
It's a real saga
Like
without
like
breaking it in. Yeah. Yeah.
like some Dune shit, man. Like on some Dune
Yeah.
shit, but better. More fucking more action. And yes, it does. He's admitted this. I mean, he's not hiding this. He wrote this to be a Star Wars script. He wrote it as a Star Wars script. He presented it to Lucasfilm, and that's not the direction they wanted to go in. They
Mm.
wanted to go in the females,
Empowerment role,
female empowerment move.
which
And
they're already empowered in Star Wars. Like, come on.
yeah, that was useless and pointless. Didn't It was unnecessary. They just wanted to kill Luke Skywalker and piss George Lucas off and piss off some guy that probably pissed them off in their life. I think Kathleen Kennedy, I think her ex-husband or some shit loves Star Wars and she's just doing this to fucking get back at him. It's something like that. It's
Nah,
got
I mean, I don't think it's that. I think she, like most feminists, they don't like to be under men. They don't,
yeah,
because one, they feel they're superior, which is an insecurity
right,
to, and to begin with. Why
right,
would you need to be superior than a man when you're already superior in your own right? That's
exactly,
why we're men and they're women. We do things better and they do things better.
right.
What's the problem? You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
everyone has their specialty. Everyone has what
Yeah.
they're. That's
Everybody got
cool.
their own skill.
Yeah.
Like,
You don't have
let
to
it,
do everything.
you
It's
know,
it's sad that that's like you said, it's an insecurity, but
yeah.
not to delve too much into that. But the on the director's cut podcast,
Mm,
Snyder was saying that through the whole process of doing the longer R-rated cut simultaneously as the Netflix mandated PG-13 version, but he also revealed that we'd see the real extended cut, or at least general the time frame when we would. He said, in the summer you will get to see what I first pitched them, basically, and
nice.
you'll get to pretend to be the studio executive and go, oh, geez, I see what they mean. So that's the full Odyssey. End
Okay,
quote.
nice.
And unlike his pre-release interviews, this one feels a bit more defensive in the wake of release, where Rebel Moon has been, savaged by critics now, and he's even one of the lowest audience scored films as well. And so he's essentially saying, well, yeah, but this version wasn't good because I wanted to do this other version. Basically, his point was that, like, that wasn't really the movie. Like, that's the little shit that I had to give Netflix in the contract. They were like, we need PG-13. It's got to be 2 hours. It's got to be normal. And they wrote that in the contract. And his answer to that was, okay, we'll do that if also you write in the contract that I get to put out my version after. And they said, all right. So that's what we're getting. We're getting the real version.
I think we're at a stage in all this media that people become overcritical of art. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? In a sense, I mean, unless it's complete dog shit,
Right.
just appreciate the art for what it is, man. Like, even if that PG-13 was the only version that he would put out, just
Yeah.
appreciate it. Like, okay, this is a great film. You don't have to break your brain cells over. You can just enjoy it for an action sci-fi a movie. Just enjoy it.
For what it is.
Everybody, sometimes we get overcritical on certain things, but we should just shut the fuck up and watch a movie, man.
Yes.
like we used to do.
Dog,
You know?
Netflix really botched this shit from the jump. Because if you're gonna do Zack Snyder of all people to make some wild sci-fi universe, you should just let him do his shit and not mandate some sanitized PG-13 version of it. You know that lops 2 hours off of the thing. And
Mhm. But
if
I guess
like
the thing is with Zack Snyder though, bro. Not to cut you off. Um, he does run on tangents a lot in
no,
his.
but they're good though. Like the
Yeah,
Snyder
they're good
cut is
tangents.
better than the original, way better.
Yeah,
I didn't like Justice League. Then I saw the Snyder cut and I fucking
yeah,
love it.
yeah. The Snyder cut is the best one.
I didn't
I
like
like. I even like the Snyder black and white version. I'm like, okay, I like watching it in black and white. It's
yeah,
crazy.
Snyder cut yeah, that really changed my perspective on that Justice League movie because I didn't like it at
Yeah,
first. I didn't like it at
yeah.
all.
I really think he had more even after that because you wanted to see more of Dark Side and what's her name, the mother of what's her fucking name, the villain, Dark Side's the
It's a
what's her
female
name, huh?
Steppenwolf.
Not
I thought
Steppenwolf, the mother. What's her name? Or some
grandma,
yeah,
Granny,
good granny.
good Granny
Great,
Goodness,
yeah,
Granny Goodness.
Granny Goodness. There you go. Yeah, I wanted to see more Granny Goodness too. Like I know he had more in there with Granny Goodness.
Yeah,
I'm quite sure
I
he
mean,
had more shit.
yeah. I really would like to see more dark side and all that, but we
Yeah,
don't, the Snyder DC is not happening no more. The Snyder
man,
Star
Justice
Wars
League
won't
was great.
happen. So here's what he does. He's like, I'm just gonna make my own shit. Rebel
Yeah,
Moon.
yeah,
Cool. I'm down.
yeah.
Because yeah, listen, I hate the people that are like, it's a Star Wars ripoff. No, it's not. It was a fucking Star Wars script that's
Yeah,
been that's been modified. It's not a ripoff. It is. He's telling you it's a Star Wars. But here's the thing: it's very different. None of the characters are the same. You're not.
yeah.
It's not like really Star Wars, but you could tell. It's like this: if you like Star Wars, you'll like this.
Hey,
So
did you
type
see
you're looking
there's
for some
a
Star
character
Wars. Not to cut you.
speaking? Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You go ahead, bro.
No, what are you saying?
I was saying, one of those characters to me was John Carter of Mars, right?
Oh, who?
The dude that rode the Griffin. He was like John
Uh,
Carter of Mars.
yep,
I
yep.
was like, hold up. I'm like, oh snap, this is crazy. Cause I'm
That
looking
was
at that character. I was like, yo, that's dope.
yeah, dog. That I mean, all the shit, that type of shit that's on the movie is like, those certain tropes, those sci-fi, things that you see in John Carter and Star Wars and Flash Gordon and all the cool shit that when you were a little kid was dope. And that's what it is. That's what Star Wars was. It was George Lucas taking all the stuff from when he was a kid, the serials, the westerns, the samurai movies, and the medieval, the Robin Hood, all of that, and he mashed it together and made his own sci-fi version. And that's what yeah, it's exactly what Rebel Moon is. And
Rebel
that's
Moon, I love it. I love it.
me too. And I really, but I really don't feel like I've seen it yet. And I'm not really trying to watch this one again. I'm waiting for the cut. I'm waiting for the Snyder cut of it because that's
Yeah.
gonna be a real one. I like this one enough to know that I'm gonna really like the Snyder
Special.
cut
Yeah. Yeah.
because Snyder has repeatedly said that his cut is so totally different than the movie. He said practically, and I'm not sure what Netflix was trying to accomplish here, other than artificially replicating the Justice League Snyder cut drama and
Mm,
make that happen again. And
yeah.
it was just a pointless waste of time. We should have just got the original, but it is what it is. Whatever is what he had to do to give us an R-rated Star Wars version, and that's basically what it is. And while Snyder cuts have become something of a meme more generally, I mean, his cut of Justice League was much better. So it's legit. Um, it was a definitive improvement. And I think Rebel Moon will likely not be some epic masterpiece with the R-rated cut, but I think it will definitely be better than what we just saw in the original, which was good.
Yeah.
That's why I know this one's going to be great, because if that was good and this is going to be at least as good or better. And as a release date, in the summer, I think the R-rated cut will become after the April release of Part 2. So we'll actually have to watch the Part 2 PG-13, and then we'll get the extended Part 1 after that. So yeah, so we'll
that barn scene. I need to see that barn scene over. I know that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I'm glad they're not making us wait till Christmas or something like that. So we get to see it pretty soon here. Like I said, April's not that far away. January we got to go through, then February and March. It's like 3 months, 3 months from now. So then we'll finally get to see Part 2.
Yep.
Then I'm not sure, really, maybe June, July, August will be when we could finally get to see the Snyder cut of Part 1. That's what I'm shooting for in this summer. I think this summer we'll get it. So that's dope. Can't wait. And another thing I can't wait. Two things I can't wait. Sabretooth War is coming out. That starts in Wolverine 49, I think it is, or 42, whatever the next Wolverine is. It's going to start the new run, or the new mini run called Sabretooth War. It's going to be a 10-issue thing, and I think it's going to be over different titles. I don't think it's going to be all in Wolverine, so it'll come out pretty quick here. And then secondly, Thundercats #1. There's a new Thundercats that has already had over 100,000 pre-sales.
Shit.
This shit's been pre-ordered already over 100,000 times. That's a lot for a comic. That's a lot. The Thundercats comic, it's from Dynamite. One of the most highly anticipated comics of 2024 is from Dynamite, which is it's an indie label, kind of indie, not super indie, but it's not Marvel, it's not DC, right? So it's not.
They had Green Hornet. They had a lot of Alex Ross's the superhero project that he did.
Right. And they confirmed this with their last announcement that the first issue has over 100,000 copies ordered already ahead of the order cutoff date. So I haven't gotten mine yet, unfortunately. Gonna try to pre-order one if I can, but my account's fucked up at the the comic shop that I ordered from. They limited my account because I didn't pay a pre-order in time. That's how I feel you. But this is an impressive.
That one that always shipping late.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, y'all are the worst company with getting my shit to me on time. But the second I'm late, y'all got a problem. So it's kind of weird, but I'm fucking with them. But that's an impressive premiere, I think, for a comic first that's from an IP that's from the 80s, and a label that's not Marvel or DC. It's a big, but I think it's gonna be dope. The variant covers are fucking dog. I gotta show y'all these, dog. It's so beautiful. Thundercats is my shit, and these are some sick.
I got Superman versus Thundercats.
Nice.
And then I got the
look at that, bro.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Dog.
Ooh, that looks sick.
Dog.
That cover look crazy right there.
That shit hurts my fucking heart. That's Perillo right there. Man, look at Mumra. Lionel.
No.
That's dope too. I like this shit. It's basic.
I love it. Site, yeah.
Yeah, Siberian. I love it. Basic shit. Oh, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's crazy right there.
Oh, this is my shit. Jay Lee. Dog, this guy's amazing.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. Panthro, my favorite. Looking dope. Fuck. Man, dog, I have to get these. I have to get all these. I need all. Look, dog, I need all.
Crazy.
I need all these. I need all these.
Wow.
Oh, the action.
That right there looks real crazy.
The action figure.
Yeah. That's dope. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, these variants, man. This is where the money they get you in the pocket is the variants.
Yeah, they gonna hit me in the pocket with these, dog.
Yeah, my brother was going over it just today. I had a whole bunch of 301s from GI from GI Joe.
Bro, I want this in a virgin variant.
Yeah.
This no words or nothing, just the symbol in the middle. That would be a sick ass cover.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know what that. See, I would never buy this. This is a waste of money. This is whack.
I know. Well, oh no, that's probably the product shot. Look like it's product sketch. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it looks like. But yeah, man. This one I need it. I'll pass on this one just to save some money. I definitely need that one. Definitely need that one. Definitely need that one. Definitely need that one. And I definitely need that one. So yeah.
What's the price point on them? Those are what, $3.99?
Yeah, $3.99.
All right, that's what.
Wait, where are we at? How many? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 40. I mean, 6 times.
$6. 6 times 4.
I gave you that bag. Huh? I gave you that whole bag. That's it. That's gone? Yeah. I ain't got no one. That's crazy. Thundercats variant covers on the loose, huh? Still alive? Yeah. Sorcerer, that's like Mumra. They must also contend with the old enemies like the mutants of Plundar. It says this is a reboot of the 1985 animated series. That's phenomenal. Comic will open as the cartoon did, with the feline Thunderians fleeing the doomed planet Thundera, stranded on the world called Third Earth. One group of survivors, led by an inexperienced Prince Lino, must build a new home. They must contend with old enemies like the mutants of Plundar and the threats like the sorcerer Mumra. While based on the mythology of the original cartoon, Barucci promises the series will be accessible to newcomers. That's fine. The writer Declan Shavley. Say what?
I said Declan Shavley and Drew Moss.
Yeah. And the rest of the creative team have brought together something special for the both longtime and newer fans of the Thundercats franchise. He said the creative team includes cover artists David Nakayama, Lucio Perillo, Jay Lee, and Ivan Dow. Those are just great. But yeah, those are sick. That's one I definitely needed to holler at. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, y'all. It is 10:20. We've been rocking 3 hours, and that is our show. We're gonna cut it off tonight, but we're gonna be back Monday, y'all. So yes, have a good weekend. Be safe. You know what I mean? And we'll see you guys. On the morrow. No, on the Monday. Yeah, on the Monday. So, all right, y'all, man. Be good. Be safe. Peace.
Peace.